Good morning, afternoon, and evening all, and welcome to In the VC, the preview show that discusses all the news and events occurring within the virtual paddock. And welcome to round 6 here amongst the Styrian Mountains as we race at the Red Bull Ring. I'm Kendrick Garlic, and joining me as usual is Ken Jake. And Ken Jake, I reckon before we get into this week's round, we need to mention the results of last week.
Yes, we do. And it's looking pretty exciting, this one. It's sizing up. We're getting a glimpse of what's to come in the following stretch of the last three tracks of the championship.
Yep, certainly. And of course, we come off the back of a controversial round at Fuji. And as we said towards the end of the broadcast, Alessio won on track, but he may not win on paper. And we can confirm he did receive a 5-second time penalty for the move that he made against Scoob towards the dying stages of race 2. And so, therefore, Scoob goes into this round a race winner.
Nice. That is very nice to know. Unfortunately for Miko as well, that cost him the potential podium finish. But I guess if you don't make moves like that, you don't consider yourself to be competitive at all.
Yeah, true. And actually, somewhat hinting towards the incident that Alessio and Miko had, as separate penalizing this, Alessio will be given a 10k ballast and 2 penalty points applied to his seasonal license. And so he'll have 10k ballast for qualifying the first race, but for the second race, will be taken off.
Okay. Well, yeah, that gives us a glimpse of what would uh what would Alessio Siri will be dealing with today's race, as well as his qualifying lap.
And it'll be interesting to see how the 10k ballast affects him, because I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure how the ballast affects cars in a set of courses beyond this. You just go slower. And I don't know if you will want the ballast on a track such as this, where it's a long straight, or if you're wanting the ballast on a much more technical track.
Yes, but the thing is, in Assetto Corsa, you do add ballast, but you can never place it on any position of the car. It's always in the middle when it comes to
Yeah.
the ballast in Assetto Corsa, and it's really difficult because you some in Formula One that they purposely underweight the car so that they can add ballast and place it anywhere.
Yeah.
They can play around where they put the ballast to affect the whole dynamics of the car. But yeah, that's what we see lacking in Assetto Corsa.
Mm. Something that is also interesting today is that Alessio, despite the fact that he's going to be suffering with the ballast penalty for the first race, he is mathematically possible to close out the championship today. And so I've done some maths here, and the clearest way for Alessio to win the championship today is to come first in both races. If that's the case, Ballista has to finish above 7th in both races, otherwise he is out. Miko has to finish. Let me see. Sorry. Miko has to finish third in both races or above to maintain within championship. If he finishes below 6th once, he's out. But if he finishes 4th or below in both races, he's also out. Sato needs to finish 4th both races at the very least to be, I think it's 2 points mathematically still within the championship. But Ballista only really needs to finish 7th or above in both races, which is doable. But it does make the championship a little interesting in that while Alessio has such a lead, he could possibly, I should say, close out the championship today if he plays his cards right.
Interesting to hear. Well, I really don't want to put the blame for jinxing their championship, but I wish them good luck.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. If I had to posit a guess, I wouldn't say that Alessio will close out the championship this race, but I suspect next round
Oh,
he will certainly be looking to do so.
I mean, I wouldn't say that, but
Really? You think he's going to go to the penultimate round?
I believe so. Yeah, because the way the way the stat sheets and the live timings are showing from the practices, it's Ballista has been putting a lot of work recently for him
Hmm.
to be much more competitive when it comes to chasing and battling with Alessio Siri. So who
Yeah.
knows? It
Well,
might go down to the wire, or you might be right that it will be finished this race, or at least the next race.
it'll be very interesting to see. But moving away from the championship, I have to unfortunately divulge some news. Unfortunately, due to her current move across the country, Raven has publicly stated that she will no longer be racing in the following 3 rounds of this league. Of course, with moving across country, it's a bit difficult to sit down and practice for a race in sim as well as actually attending the race itself. So of course she'd have to take priorities into her own hands. But of course we wish her the best of moves and always. Sorry, there was always a spot in Artito Racing waiting for her when she is ready to sim race again.
Yes, that is true. Unfortunate for Kamekame Racing that I think they would be both absent for today's race.
Yes, I believe so. So Kame Kame's title, not title chances, constructors chance as well as their own personal championships, seeming to taking quite a hard hit in the latter half of the season. Moving along from that though, we were talking beforehand with Alessio's penalties. Something of note that I think should be discussed, and something that has been discussed a little bit, is Lakeburn's current track record. Now, last round, Lakebun received 2 penalty points on his license, which has then means that his total for the season is now equal to 7. Now, if he gets 8, he gets a race ban. And so he is kind of treading on water here towards the latter end of the season, which will play interestingly into how not only his personal championship hopes are going to play out. He's currently sitting in 11th, 31 points. But also how Soteria Racing's championship hopes are going to go. Of course,
Sorry.
with oh,
I don't know if you're seeing this, but both of the Brabham cars are going in reverse in the track.
are you sure that's Brabham? I think that's
Oh,
Soteria.
sorry, Satiro Racing. Wow.
Well, speak of the devil. They seem to be going backwards at the moment. Not entirely sure
Well,
why.
there's Josh Mitchell for you and his raging hormones, I guess.
But as we were talking about the championship hopes, currently they're sitting on 34 points and in 5th place at the moment in the constructors, but only 5 points behind Brabham, who has been absent for the last 2 rounds, I believe. And I don't believe they have the ability to be attending future rounds, as far as I'm aware. It's at least the case in Gutsy's. Sorry, at least the situation in Gutsy's case, but I don't know about Mordron.
Oh my
As
god.
Sativa cars continue to.
I mean, there's a race in Austria, right, where they race in reverse. It's a thing.
Really? I did
Yeah,
not know about
yes,
this.
I know it's a thing. Both Yuki
Huh.
Tsunoda and Max Verstappen did the challenge as well in the Red Bull Ring. So yeah, I guess that's a glimpse of their potential future in racing in Austria.
Yeah, perhaps. Hopefully, we didn't see that today in the actual race.
These boys
As
are
a.
literally glitching out. They're saying hi with their wings. Uh, that's something you don't see every day. But yeah.
No, you don't. Only Artito. But as I was saying, Lake Bun's pretty much on thin ice today. He pretty much needs to have a clean race. Um, pretty much actually for the rest of the season. If he wants to avoid getting a race ban.
Yeah. Um. Well, it's not looking good for him.
No, it really isn't. Especially if he's going to be driving like that.
Exactly. I guess I guess he's doing all the fun stuff out of the way so he can get more serious in the race.
Fair enough. Moving away from Soteria for a little bit.
Oh god. I just can't stop.
They're still going on. God. Anyway, moving away from Soterio a bit. Scoob with his second and first at the last round takes him to fifth in the championship, just pipping over G. And the battle for fifth is actually quite tight at the moment. Currently, Scoob is on 89 points in fifth place, but G is on 80. So there's only a 9-point difference between them. And then only, if I have to do quick maths here, 89, 90, 11, 18-point difference between Scoob and Miko for fourth and fifth.
God.
So, yeah, the championship, while it's looking as though Alessio, unless there's a disastrous couple races for Kim Ballista is able to capitalize in every single instance, is looking as though Alessio is going to be able to close it up relatively soon. But the battle for fourth, fifth, and sixth is actually quite tight still.
Well, I'm curious to know as well. Well, aside from Alessio Siri, one of the privateer drivers, who is the second leading the privateer teams?
That would be Miko in fourth place.
Very nice.
Yeah. It'd be Miko in fourth place, and then the next privateer is G. Then we have Raj, Pipewell, Felix, and Galaxy and TJ Dragon. But Galaxy and TJ both haven't scored points this season.
And I haven't seen them. I have, especially TJ Dragon. I haven't seen him for quite a while now.
I think he raced in the second round, I want to say, but I'm not confident on that.
Ooh,
Yes, it's been a while since we've seen him, unfortunately.
Yeah, that is true.
But I guess towards the end of the season, you start to have people start to drop out a little bit as interest starts to die down, which it's a little sad to see, but it's kind of understandable sometimes.
Yeah, for me, it's you're not obligated to join. We already know that, but
No.
Yeah, I still believe that being consistent on your attendance is also a very nice thing to do. Not only for not only for your sake, but for the as well as for the well, I don't have the right words for this. I'm sorry.
Integrity?
Yeah, not only integrity, it's more than that. It's just the quality of the championship itself is affected.
Yeah, that's fair. Of course, we've had some people who've had to drop out throughout the season, unfortunately. The entirety of Brabham Racing's had to go due to real-life clashes. We've had Raj, who hasn't been around for a while. Rai last weekend was absent. He was actually an event, a Formula One, a Red Bull hosted event where he was able to see the current Red Bull Racing and AlphaTauri drivers, which is actually pretty cool, all things considered. Sendra's also dropped away from the radar. Pipewell isn't racing. Zeth has been busy recently, unfortunately, so he hasn't been able to race. And neither is his teammate Gordon, who has appeared to be MIA, and I believe Felix is still dealing with technical issues on his side, so he hasn't been able to race. Just period, really.
Well, yeah. Hopefully, in the next league, we might we'll still find the improvements that we need.
Yeah, hopefully.
I won't give a hint of what's coming next, though.
Fair enough. I don't think we're entirely certain ourselves, honestly, but it's still in the works, to be fair. So we'll hopefully be able to provide more details as time comes. But in the meantime, stay tuned, really.
Yeah. So
something also I think is of note. I don't know if this happened last week. I'll have to double check. No, it didn't. So with Scoob's stellar performance in the previous round, Mystery Gang is now second in the Constructors Championship, overtaking Kame Kame. And as we know with Kame Kame, both of the drivers have been absent for the last couple of races. And I think that will probably mean, unless Tobe can somehow find some miraculous pace in that F3 car, that Mystery Gang will be taking the second place in the constructors.
Oh, I'm a bit down on that. You already know I'm a bit biased with the Kamikami Racing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's unfortunate for them that due to their responsibilities and obligations that they're going to miss out. But I
Yeah.
guess it's all good and good fun since they've shown their pace. They've shown that they've enjoyed competing in the championship and as well as racing toe to toe, wheel to wheel with these guys. Yeah, that's about it for them.
And I think that's pretty much it in terms of talking points. So, with the championship starting to get towards the pointy end, as well as considering Alessio's ballast penalty, predictions for this race. What do you think?
Ballista for me.
Ballista,
Yeah.
you reckon? I reckon race 1 will be Ballista because of the penalty. And I reckon Miko could probably snag a P2 here. He's actually fairly strong on this track, all things considered. But for race 2, it's going to be probably Alessio. And the reason why I say Alessio is because Alessio is going to have the ballast penalty to begin with, which is going to put him down the order regardless. But that's going to give him a better starting position for the second race. And we know he has the capacity to take a good starting position and just run with it.
Yeah.
He's often been used to like starting at the very back of the grid because he's finished first so many times. But
Yeah.
now with being a little further down in the pack, he's going to have that work for him inversely.
Yeah, it might help him tactically in the second race if he keeps his nose clean, doesn't make any and if he doesn't make any uh dive bombs that would affect his race. So yeah,
Yes.
he has to stay safer compared to what he usually does.
I reckon he'll probably realize that as the championship's starting to die down, he can start to afford to make some more reserved drives in comparison to what he may have done at the start of the season, where he was clamoring for points and trying to make a name for himself in the championship. But yeah, I think you're saying beforehand he needs to drive a little safer, but I reckon he has the wherewithal to see the situation in front of him and be able to make such decisions going into the following rounds.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I have really no words for today. Do I?
It's starting to get to like the back end of it, so it's a little like tricky, I guess is the best way to describe it.
Exactly. For my vocabulary as well. But yeah, everything you said is true, and those are factual. And yeah, I guess everything you said about him is true at this point.
Yeah. I haven't actually got all that much left to talk about, really.
Same here, but we still have about 7 more minutes to go.
Yeah. Let me think. I guess something of note, at least in Australian motorsport, is Holden, let's just say, just finished their last race in Fiat Supercars, like literally a couple minutes ago.
Oh really? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That means Abby will be coming over soon.
Yes. But
Mr. Race
yeah,
Director himself.
it's kind of sad, honestly. I have to say. Like Australia myself, I grew up with V8 supercars and would just watch that almost religiously. And like I was always a Holden fan. My mother owned a Holden when she was younger. So did her parents as well. And I was a huge Jamie Whincup fan. When he was still racing full time.
I'd love to try out those Holden cars, especially with the V8 ones, the older ones.
Yeah.
I think that would be cool.
Pretty impressive cars. Well, they're not the old ones, but we have a server set up with V8 Supercars around Bathurst, which I'm tempted to go try a little later.
I might as well join later on. I was tempted a few days ago because I saw it, but I'd probably drive the Mustang. I'm not a Mustang. I'm not a huge Mustang fan though. I prefer Camaros over Mustangs.
But it's like the same thing as the Holden. It's just different badge,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, different engine as well.
different engine. Yeah,
But yeah, I think I'll try out the Holden. Why not?
it'll be fun.
I mean,
I reckon.
I believe the Holden is still a Chevy, deep down in its heart.
Kind of, not really.
It has
Maybe.
the soul of being a Chevy, but it's purebred Australian.
Yeah, it's made in Australia.
Yeah, so
That's what defined it, really.
yeah, I guess it's like that. It's like your
Hmm.
distant cousin in a different country.
Yeah, you can kind of think of it that way. How long we got left? About 6 minutes or
6
so?
minutes, yeah, 6 minutes.
Running out of ideas.
Yeah,
Who's racing today?
wait, I just like to point out, you can correct me if my opinion is wrong about this one, but I believe Australians are like modern American muscle cars.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, they obviously have the specifications to be a muscle car, but in a
Yeah.
more modern body and
I guess so.
better suspensions.
I guess so. I've always kind of seen them as like just our brand of touring cars. Like the BTCC has their sort of like a little more souped up, or like
Yeah,
Coupe as an example.
would
And
you
then we've had our.
would you like to compare it to a Civic?
I mean, it's kind of the base models are kind of in a similar realm. I'll be honest, because they're both at the very core. Holden was a production car, and then as we went into VH Supercars through the
Really?
Holden dealership team, yeah,
I
as
believe
we went
it's
through the
much more
supercars,
special than that.
I don't know. It was still like absolutely by definition a production car beforehand. And I think why V8 Supercars became so popular and why there was such a fanfare surrounding Holden was because it was a production car. Like, if you ever talk to people who watch BTCC during like the late 80s or so to early 90s, like a big wow factor of it was that it was their car on track, essentially. Like, you would support the car that your dad had in the driveway. Like, there's a Ford like Sierra on track, and my father has a Ford Sierra, so I'm going to support that car. Or like a
Aussie.
Volvo, a Peugeot, yeah, or Cozzy. Like, it was that kind of connection where it's like it's my car, but it's not quite my car. But because there's the same badge and it looks the same, I'm going to support it anyway.
Oh my god, I have yet to see another Corolla on track. I mean, they did before. I was watching JGTC before. You know, the GT500 cars, just because they
Yeah.
had the Corolla Axio back then in 2010. But I have yet to see another Corolla on track again.
Mm. Well, I don't know. Corollas are. I think Corollas have kind of just been pushed out of the limelight in favor of the Yaris.
The Yaris
Really?
as well, yeah, and the Supra, the 86,
Yeah.
because
86 as well.
they've become more tame in the recent years that they have been in production.
Yeah. I think it's kind of a general shift from how auto manufacturers sort of do business. Because like beforehand, the general like idea of win on Sunday, sell on Monday was still very much alive, and it was still to an extent practical because it was just so cheap to go motor racing at the time. But as more companies started to get involved in that
I'm starting
business
to
model,
see the lower level cars are into the racing scene. Like for example, the Yaris is the Yaris just outed the Celica and the what else?
Camry.
Yeah, the Camry as well was outed by the Supra
Mm.
in NASCAR or the Xfinity series. And what else do we have? We have the Golf being replaced by the Polo in the Rally. The Fiesta
Sure.
has changed the Focus. Stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
The lower,
I
the
like-
lower little brother cars has been
Yeah.
dominating the racing scene recently.
I think it's just because there's a general shift towards like efficiency in cars, like within the market, and that it kind of makes sense to have the smaller car and still have the motor racing, where you can have the best of both worlds, really.
Exactly. Efficiency is the name of the game today. So yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm an old school guy, and there is no replacement for displacement.
That's a good say, I have to say. I think that pretty much concludes our time, actually.
Yeah.
Got pretty
So
well
that's
timed.
it for In the VC.
Yes, when we return, we'll be starting our pre-race broadcast. Hopefully with a bit more excitement and some more conversation pieces. But in the meantime, don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. There's simply nothing like it. That heart in your mouth, adrenaline through your veins type feeling. The most dramatic of highs, and the most crushing of lows. All to the choir of man and machine pushed to its limit. This is action. This is emotion. This is Artito Racing Formula 3. And 6 red lights, and away we go! You can see a big crash going up.
The Rouge.
First time he'll go for a move on the inside, and Melissa has the late braking, but she won't have the inside line capacity to Sano. What a great move. He'll go towards the inside as well.
Oh, Rory!
The secret assassin, the Iron Will Jamaican.
Last
So he's gonna go. Miko sits right. Raj goes left.
Miko goes
Last
defensive.
late breakers here, and Raj
Oh,
is able
does he
to make
stick?
it
Does
on
he
the
make
second
it
to last
stick?
corner.
He
makes
made it stick!
The jewel of Austrian motorsport, the home of Red Bull Racing, and today, the arena for our drivers, with the possibility of a new champion being crowned. Welcome, one and all, to round 6 of the Artito Racing Formula 3 Championship, here at these 10 corners, located at the Red Bull Ring for the Austrian Grand Prix. My name is Kendrick Garlic, and alongside me, as always, is my co-commentator, Kenjake. And Kenjake, the championship is beginning to reach its climax here today.
Exactly. We're seeing both these two guys named Alessio Siri and Ballista fighting it out, dueling it, and trying their best to regain or at least crown a new champion in Artito Racing.
And this championship will continue with the first race of round 6 within the hour. Currently, we have about 26 minutes left in practice, which will then go into a 15-minute qualifying session. That will dictate the grid for the first of two 21-lap races, the second being a reverse grid race based on the finish of race 1. Drivers will have access to 3 comprehensive tyres, the soft, medium, and hard, with the medium being favoured by the drivers in practice. So with race just moments away, get comfy and get ready for round 6 of the Artito Racing Formula 3 Championship here in Austria.
I've gotta say, Garlic, this place must be so memorable for you if you can remember. You know why?
It was the first commentary that we did together here at the Red Bull Ring.
Exactly. So how was it returning back to Red Bull Ring, still being the head commentator of the racing series?
I'm glad I'm not out of a job yet, that's all I'll say.
Well, for me, it brings back so many memories since yeah, I was a lost cause back then before I invited you to do commentary. You have a
Wasn't
knack
too
for
bad.
it.
Yeah, I'm alright.
Yeah. I'm pretty
But,
sure you weren't prepared for that question.
No, I was not at all.
Yeah, so yeah. Great job, Garlic.
But someone who's actually been doing a very good job at the moment, both in practice and in recent races, is the man on the screen at the moment, Scooby-Doo. Currently heading practice. Yep, currently heading practice for 1:19.004. 3 times faster than Miko at the moment. And he has done very well for himself, I must say, coming not just into this round as well, with the second and first that he scored at Fuji last round. But this round as well, he's been lining up the time sheets quite significantly.
I just love that sticker on the back of his wing.
Yeah, that is a pretty cool livery, I must say. Very distinct, I have to say.
Exactly, it suits him well.
But yeah, Scooby's been doing very well for himself, and I suspect he's going to be wanting to continue the form today as he starts to challenge Mika for 4th place and try to build a gap to from G, who's currently sitting in 6th place at the championship, but 3rd in the practice session. But someone who goes G, he is going to be wanting to try and challenge the Indonesian and the Filipino, and trying to garner some points to try and secure his 5th place within the championship. Of course, the top 5 finishers will receive the Pro Artito Racing role, which will signify to the community that they are a driver of high skill and capability, and have been able to prove themselves throughout an entire championship.
Yeah, I mean, G clearly has the experience for it, so yeah, I believe he will be able to challenge Miko as well as Raj in the championship standings.
Yes, well, Raj is actually quite a ways down the championship because he's been absent for a while now.
Yeah, but I believe that these 3 drivers are at the same tier.
Yeah, I think that's quite fair. But at the moment, the top 5 is Alessia, Ballista, Sato, Miko, and Scoob. But then G is only 9 points behind Scoob in 6th. And then the championship starts to fizzle down a little bit with Tobe in 7th on 60 points, followed by Rohei, Raven, who we said beforehand isn't going to be racing for the best of the season, unfortunately. Raj, who hasn't made an appearance in a while. Lakebun, Morbitron, Vi, Gutsy, Sandra, Pipewell, Zeth, Felix, Josh Mitchell, and Gordon. And then the non-point scorers are Galaxy and TJ Dragon.
I have to say, even with the F3 cars, it's the times in the Red Bull Ring is so small.
Mm.
119. I believe in the weekly practice I can see someone running a 118.9 and 118.8.
Wow. So it'll be interesting to see how the qualifying times shape up. Who do you reckon is probably at the forefront to get pole this race?
Oh, I'd have to pick between Ballista or Scooby, because both of them
Yeah.
are clearly putting out the times out there.
Well, the thing is that we know Scoob has that one lap pace. And I reckon his strong suit is in the qualifying more so than the race. He is still a very good racer, like, let's make that very clear. But like, he is much stronger comparatively in the qualifying session than he would be in the race.
That is
Um,
true.
but Ballista, I think, is a bit more of an all-rounder driver. In comparison to like his ability in both qualifying and the race as well. And I suspect Scoob, the times at the moment are indicative of this anyway. I suspect Scoob will get the pole position as well.
Well, I believe Ballista is also a qualifying man as well.
He is a qualifying man, yeah, certainly, but he often leaves his true pace towards the very end of the
Qualifying, that is
session.
true. Yeah.
Yeah, not just in practice, but in qualifying as well. And so often it'll be a make or break lap for the Japanese driver, whereas Scoob is able to set bank laps to himself and just continually build up, eke another tenth through like turn 5, be able to get 2/10 out of the exit and towards the back straight. He's that type of driver where he's very clinical in how he gets time. The lists are just like, okay, I'm going to do this time now.
Just look at the elevation change in the camera.
Yes, well, we are in the Styrian Mountains, just on the border of Austria and Germany. So it's a very mountainous area of the world. You can see on board here with Lake Button all the hills and elevation that defines this track, really.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think the onboard camera does give it justice.
No. Well,
Very
are we able
flat.
to do like a visor cam almost, or like just a lower onboard camera perhaps? There we go. I mean, Lake Button has no hands here.
Yeah, I don't have
but...
the arms enabled. I'm very sorry about that.
Yeah, that's unfortunate at all. But I think this camera gives the indication of elevation a little better. Like you can see even just through this complex here, like the elevation change is astronomical.
Yeah, even some of the corners are also banked from what I believe.
Ah, I did not know that. I knew there was like camber within the corners, but I didn't know that they were banked per se. Like here's an example of some camber. Where the car dips in.
Oh god. Oh god.
Oh! It's like when gets it all wrong there, coming out of turn 10.
Yes, it's just a bit of sausage curb pin already on side of the car. I believe
Yeah.
from driving in, I've already driven in this track before with the Formula 3 cars, and these cars really don't love riding the curbs. They're just, it feels like you're surfing it almost.
Yeah. Well, I think that's quite a common theme with open wheel cars, really, like high downforce open wheel cars, and that it's very reliant on their aerodynamics. And so once you get onto the curbs, we're challenging both the mechanical and the aerodynamic grip. And so the aero, like surface area, I guess the best way to describe it, gets affected by that.
Yeah, it stalls itself out, I guess.
Yeah. You can see Sato currently chasing down, I believe that was Rohei. Yes, Rohei just letting him pass. And both drivers trying to get the last of practice in before the race brief in a couple of minutes' time.
So many white cars. So yeah, I mean, Yakitori has been on form recently.
Yes, they have actually been quite on form recently. And I think with Alessio's penalty today, that's going to harm him with this qualifying the first race as well. I suspect that they may be able to capitalize on Alessio's current weakness and may even be able to secure a double podium or even a 1-2, depending on how Miko and G's races fare, as well as Scoob's, actually, I should say.
Yes, that is true. That is very true indeed. And as Sato just Nips, the sausage Kirby, sent out spinning.
Yes, drivers obviously trying to push the extremities of the track to eke out the most time possible. It's better to get the spins now and figure out where you can push the car and where you can't for the race, rather than trying to figure it out during the race and end up causing a multi-car pileup.
Yes, that is true. This track is really prone for dive bombs. I must
Yes,
point
it
that
is.
out.
Substream, DRS, and dive bombs is the defining aspects of this track, as well as the fact that it's owned by Red Bull Racing.
It almost
Uh,
feels
oh
like it's
gosh.
built for Max Verstappen.
It does a little bit, honestly. And the Red Bull car as well, actually, come to think of it, because that car was very strong in a straight line this year's season.
And it means the Mystery Gang is, I guess, representing Red Bull for now.
True, do they have like a home field advantage? Can we call this the home race? They're
They might
sporting the
have
Red
been.
Bull liveries.
Yeah, exactly. So, who knows? They might have the advantage that they have. It will prove better for Scooby as well.
Yes. Could very well give Scooby a home race victory, I guess, despite the fact he's Indonesian and not Austrian.
Yep. Well, yeah, I mean, definitely that anniversary Red Bull livery as well is a buff for them.
Yes, very much so. I think we have a couple seconds left before the race brief is on, and I think drivers, I think Sato is pulling over now to join the Discord chat, so I reckon it'd be a good time to jump in there and listen to the race brief.
Yep. See you there. Alright guys,
jump
I
on the
just want to
RSS
point out
podcast.
that you guys are live.
Yay!
And Jake. Just only spectate me
just-
this entire race. Just only spectate me this entire race.
Don't be ridiculous.
You know what this? You know what this guy asked me, Kendrick? He's like, "Am I a washed-up oval racer?" I'm like, why are you asking that? That's just so random. The last time we did oval racing was 2 weeks ago. Why are you asking that now?
You haven't raced since.
I haven't raced in a while. That was like the first time we raced in months, anyway. So yeah,
Washed up oval racer.
washed-up oval race. I mean, I'd like to see you do like a one. What did I do at Imola? I think I did a 116 or 17 at Imola in the F1 car. Yeah, I'd like to see you do that, please.
Only even
He's
what?
lagging, he can't.
Exactly.
Remember what happened last time I did oval?
The only person I remember being faster than me in the F1 car was Ballista back then. So good luck. Good luck.
That's true.
Anyway.
Ballista-san.
Yes? What?
Oh, I'm back. Give me a second.
Okay. Anyways. Anyways,
Gambate!
let's see who's here. Let's see who's here. Set's not going to be racing us, which is a shame. Felix doesn't have the DLC. I think we need to stay away from DLC stuff in the future because I don't think it's a good idea.
No.
Well,
Yeah,
we need a
you
bunch of
go and
races
buy it.
thing.
You go and buy everyone a DLC, mate. Come on.
I believe
Roger Keller is typing. Whoa, this is new. Oh shit, I forgot I'm live. Sorry
Wait.
about that.
Roger?
Roger,
Roger's here.
he's typing. He's typing on general chat. I wonder what's he typing.
Oh god.
Oh god!
Hold,
He might be after me!
hold it. Hold the thought, ladies and gentlemen. The brief will start very shortly. I need to see what's happening. For those of you who don't know, Ken, Jake, and Roger, friends, best friends.
We don't have beef, we have pork.
Well, let's see what he types in the meantime. Let me up the garlic making you. It was very nice. Oh,
I
yeah,
cannot
that's-
understand a single word you were saying.
Me?
Yeah, we don't.
Yes.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
No, I said let me just pull up that thing you sent me earlier before while Roger types his message because I really want to see what he's saying because we haven't heard from the dude in ages, and now he stopped
Stop
typing.
typing.
Oh no.
Shame.
Stop.
He's gone. Anyways, guys, welcome for round 6, I believe. Yep, round 6 of 8 at Red Bull Ring. Yeah, good track, as you know, pretty fast, nice flowing corners. I think it's one of my favorite tracks. It's just a shame there's DLC. so I guess the turnout's not as good. Yeah, moving forward, obviously the plan is we're not going to use much DLC content. It's going to be more modding and quality mods, obviously, especially for next season. If I can give you a hint, is that next season will be almost all of the tracks will be modded tracks, quality modded tracks. So yeah, just a little thing to cover. And then does anyone have any questions from the previous race in wherever it was? Can't remember.
Fuji.
Fuji, yeah. Any questions? Yes? No, you get 5 seconds.
No.
Okay, good stuff. All right, now Red Bull Ring. As you guys know, the opportunities here for track extending are ridiculous. So, I don't know if any of you saw the message I sent on the F3 Championship channel a few days ago. So, me, the stewards will be more. Well, basically, how this is how it's going to work with regards to track limits. With qualifying, feel free to do whatever Kunos allows you to do. It will be too difficult to monitor that, penalize that. However, in the race, as I sent in the message, there'll be 2 ways of monitoring track limits. If you see someone behind you or ahead of you extending the corners, report them to us. And whoever me, Kendrick, and Garlic see on the broadcast extending anyway, we will probably review each of their race footage. And even who report, and if anyone gets reported, we will review their race footage. Obviously, we won't sit through the whole thing. We'll just speed run it and see where they extended, and then we'll apply the penalties as necessary. As you know, you're allowed 3 extensions, and then the 4th one is a penalty of 5 or 3 seconds. Can't remember. I have to look at the rule book for that. 2 places will be monitoring track limits is turn 1, entry and exit, the white line, not the curb. The white line defines track limits. And the penultimate corner, white line again on entry and exit determines the track limits. So please obey that. And if any of you do think that we're out to get you, because I know some people sometimes think that, if you think that I'm being harsh, you can have a look at the broadcast for yourself. And whoever we see extending is extending. It's not like I went out of my way to see who was extending the whole race. Just so I want to make a point. So I just want to make that clear. Yep. So the second point I've covered. Dive bombs as well. Turn 1 probably is a big dive bombing spot. Turn 3 will definitely be a big dive bombing spot. And then the end of the back straight. I'm more worried about the end of the back straight because the corner at turn 5 it's not really a slow corner, it's more of a medium speed corner, so the chances of incidents are a lot higher. So that's what I'm a bit worried about. Yes, please exercise caution with dive bombs. I want aggressive racing. I love aggressive racing. The rules I've written allow for aggressive racing, but obviously there is a line and you can't cross that. Or for me, it's not if we can't maintain consistency in our decisions, then what's the point of having rules, right? So that's the whole point. I don't want to be too pedantic about things. That's pretty. Yeah. Just so I can continue. Lake Bun, the white line is the limits for today, and you get 3 strikes. So you get 3 extensions, and the 4th extension is a penalty. And the way we will be monitoring that is if someone is reported by another driver or whoever we see on broadcast extending, we will speed run their race and see how many extensions they did. And we've covered dive bombs as well. Another thing I would like to point out is there's been a big influx in on-track incidents in the past few races. I have no problem with that. I feel like a product of hard racing is going to be a bit of incidents. If you feel like you've done a move which will award you a penalty and you have the time and the space, if you let a guy who you did wrong past, I will not penalize you. So if let's just say you're diving down the inside of, okay, let's just put me and Garlic in an example here. Let's say I'm diving down the inside of Garlic and I spin him out into turn 3 and I continue on, but then I realize I'm probably going to get a penalty for that. If I let Garlic through, that shouldn't be a penalty because I just let him back through. However, if I keep continuing on racing, that's going to award me a penalty. So if you feel like you've wronged somebody and you have the space and time, just let them back through and you don't have to worry about getting this whatever penalty you have. That's pretty much it. Unless you guys have any questions, I'm happy to let this go. Oh, good. Everyone's same page. Garlic, you are in charge of awarding the ballast penalties, so I hope you think it's Rohei, Alessio, and is there anyone else who has one? Can't
It
remember.
was just those two, and Rohe
Yeah.
is doing it for me because I don't know how to do it yet.
Okay, Rohei will go. Rohei himself giving up himself. Nice. Anyways, that's pretty much the brief. So, yeah, we've covered a bit of good stuff. Like I said, main points is track limits, how we're monitoring it, and if you feel like you wronged somebody, just let them back past, and I won't penalize you. Yeah, that's all. Any questions? You get 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Nope. Good stuff. All right. Enjoy the race. See you guys
That
later.
was a very fast 5 seconds.
Yeah, that was
That's what she said.
Now.
All right.
story of your life.
Good luck, guys.
All right. Good luck, guys. On to broadcast. Yeah.
Yep.
You wait.
Rage is gonna join us for this. Nice.
Nice.
That's-
So we are blessed by the race director and the server owner for this one.
Just so I inform this little race weekend shenanigans. Kenja, do you want to watch France and Poland tonight?
What time is it?
11.
I don't know about that. I'll be sure to check it out later.
What you doing?
Huh?
Sleeping?
Probably I have to adjust.
Just a sleep schedule. The World Cup has pretty much messed up my sleep schedule. So I feel yeah.
If it's on 11 o'clock, I guess I'll go. Maybe. Hopefully.
Yeah. Yep. I'm just watching because it's the first time. The last few nights, I've been sleeping at like 3 or 4 o'clock, and that's not been great. Are we on air, by the way?
Yes.
We are already on air.
Roll. Whoopsie. Alright, whoopsie. Garlic, do your thing. Sorry.
The member we have 5 minutes left in practice. Currently topping the timesheet is Scuba on a 118.9, followed by Alessio on a 119.2, which I believe was set with the ballast as well. So it'll be interesting to see what Alessio's true pace is, despite the fact that he has the 10-kilogram ballast to deal with both in qualifying and
Yes,
race 1.
Can somebody pull up
P3.
the broadcast?
P3 is Miko, P4 is G, P5 is Ballista, P6 is Lakebun, followed by Sato, Josh Mitchell, and Rohei. Rounds off the grid for this round. And as Flying Sane was alluding to earlier, of course, with the DLC barrier, some drivers are unfortunately unable to attend due to that software lock. But next race is going to be at Monza, and then the following last race is going to be at Sakir. Which is a modded track which won't provide any physical barriers for our drivers. So hopefully we'll have a larger turnout.
Yep. And I think this weekend should be a pretty good race, because with the ballast penalty of 10 kilos, it's going to be interesting to see how that affects Alessio's pace, especially in qualifying and over a race stint. What do you guys think?
It'll be certainly interesting to see.
If you want to carry ballast, you want to track like Monza or the Red Bull Ring, which not too many corners, because you don't have to carry that mass to all the low speed corners. There's not many corners on this track. The only place it will affect you is the high speed stuff and under acceleration. But you're spending so much time on triple. I don't feel like the ballast will make as big a difference as it normally would on a track like let's say Monza.
Well, you say that, but like at places such as Turn 3, there's going to be very crucial traction zones. And
Yes.
places such as like 6 and 7 as well. Like that's going to be like almost detrimental.
You could
towards your
argue
exit speed.
that having more weight in the car actually allows you to have better traction at the exit as well. You know, so you could argue that as well. But
Yeah, it
obviously,
depends on how AC figures out the physics, really.
well, there's one game I'd back to get the physics right. It's going to be a certain course on the R factor too. So yeah.
It's a low bar.
Hey man, we shouldn't be dissing the
I know, but like, you know, R Factor 2 is known for its like, if you drift an open wheel car, it's faster.
Yeah, look, I feel like getting the open wheel physics on any sim is very, very difficult. I don't think
yeah.
any sim truly. I feel like iRacing got quite close with their W12, when Mercedes worked with iRacing to get that car out. But apart from
Mm.
that, I can't think of anyone else. I think RSS do quite a good job though. Having said that,
Yeah,
with their
RSS
mods,
do a pretty good job, and they've served us well with the cars
F3
for this
cars.
season.
Yep, and they provide F2 cars as well, and then obviously they provide quite a wide array of cars, past, present,
Oh, don't
and they
forget
even
about
provide
the
us
new
with future
endurance
cars.
cars.
Yeah.
Yes, the new endurance cars, those look nice. I was looking at one of their more recent releases a couple months ago.
Mhm.
The RSS Formula 1970.
That is also a
Actually,
good mod, by the way. I've tried it.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
I've been wanting to get it, but I'm not 100% on putting down money for it yet. So
Just wait for the sales.
true. Well, it was Cyber Monday sale a couple days ago, and I think it's still on at the moment. But even then, I'm unsure.
I was gonna get the Sede Corsa Competition on sale, and I completely forgot, and I'm so annoyed.
We still have their winter
yeah.
sale. The Christmas sale is going to be a much
True.
better one.
Christmas,
Yeah.
Boxing Day, you got time.
Yep. Anyways, a minute to go in the practice session. Scooby still heads off with an 18.9. Do you think he's going to be a dark horse this weekend?
Oh yeah, I'm putting him for pole, and I think Kendrick has as well.
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
Well, it was Rohei gets it all squirrely out of turn one there.
Even on the pits, he was squirrely.
Yep, certainly
So 9
struggling
drivers
with that
starting
car.
this Grand Prix. So if you finish the race, you're guaranteed to. Everybody gets a point.
Yes, actually. So I don't think Alessio will be able to round off the championship now as a result of that, because all Ballista really needs to do is just nurse the car home, and he'll still be within contention.
Yeah, I feel like having these 2-round race weekends definitely helps keep the championship a lot closer because you get more chances to make up the points going into the final weekend. Because with 2 races on the weekend, you can score a maximum of 50 points theoretically, and that helps keep the championship close. However, if it's just one race, 50-point lead is over with 2 rounds to go. So, yeah, definitely having 2 races on the same weekend keeps the championship somewhat still alive. Like, the championship likely is gonna still go down to the penultimate race, unless penultimate rounds rather, unless something goes very wrong for Ballista today. So, yeah.
Yep, pretty much.
Oh, that's
I'll
the
be
end
very
of the practice.
surprised.
Oh, that's the end of
Yeah,
practice.
I'd be very surprised of today, but this is motor racing. You never know. We've seen Ballista have issues in the past with his pedals, and you never know.
True. So with the end of practice, drivers are currently setting their final laps. Scoob and Sato both completed session. You can see them in the pits at the moment. I believe Miko has as well. Or at least he's taxing just for a quick cool down lap to prep himself for qualifying. You can see G just crossing the line there. He's currently in 4th place, so he is only, let me quickly do my math here, 8/100th, or a little less than 8/100th of a second off Miko for that 3rd place there. So it's certainly possible to see G on the podium today.
That field in the top 7 is quite close by our standards.
Lesio, I believe, is still going around at the moment, as is Rohei. Rohei hasn't set a representative time yet at the moment. You can just see him going.
Having the
Oh,
field within.
no.
Oh, someone's had a little spin.
Someone's had a
Having the
moment.
field within 7/10, well, the top 7 within 7/10 is going to make the reverse grid race very interesting, in my
Yes.
opinion, with the DRS games and whatnot. So, it should be very interesting to see if you can get a gap. If you're out front and you can get a gap, especially considering we don't have safety cars and red flags, it will bode really well for you. But it's going to be hard to break the 2-second DRS gap around this track, unless
It'll
you get
be
a
tricky.
mighty start. But let's not forget, Alessia Siri recently has been getting monstrous starts compared to everybody else. It's going to be interesting to see how he fares along today. If there's one race you want to get a good start, it's probably going to be here, especially with our rules.
Oh, I beg to differ. I want to be following someone instead of leading the whole pack.
You could probably argue yes, going into turn 3, you do have a good chance of diving it down the inside. However, like I said, Alessia Siri's been getting such great starts recently. I don't think it's going to see. as the qualifying session now gets underway. 15 minutes on the clock. So you both still have Scooby for pole position, huh?
Yep, I reckon Scoob's got pole position here.
This is gonna be interesting. Nice.
The drivers all exiting at the moment.
The championship may be a bit far-fetched for the rest of the grid, but let's not forget there's still an almighty battle going on for second place in the Drivers' Championship, and
True.
an almighty battle for the remaining few pro spots for next season. So should be interesting to see who can nab second place in the championship and the following top 5 positions to round off the pro grid for next season.
Yep. And something of a worry, both Scoob and Alessio have left the server.
Yeah.
Don't quite know why. Hopefully they'll rejoin quite quickly.
Maybe they're toggling.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Getting out that lag
Maybe.
switches to increase their times.
Why don't we show our viewers a lap around the Red Bull Ring? Why don't we go on board with?
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah, let's go with right here.
Alright, so here is the Red Bull Ring in all its glory, driven by Rohei in the Red Bull livery, rounding off the final corner on the gas as he rounds into turn 1. The white line here defines the track limit, so you want to brake just about at the 100-meter board and maximize that turn-in angle to get a brilliant exit. Use that curve to stabilize the car and the sausage curve, but not use it too much to get beefed on top of the curve. Now you're focusing solely on the line of least resistance up to turn 3 to scrub as little speed as possible. Again, use the entry curve on the outside just to get a good turn in 100 meters. A lot of drivers like to take a wide line there for a good exit, but a lot of drivers also like to hug that inside. It probably just depends on your driving style. Down the back straight as we go towards turn 5, I would like to say. Again, it's a medium speed corner. You want to extend this track as much as possible within its boundaries, because the amount of time you can gain on the exit, like this corner here as well, is incredible. Now you bring it back over to the right hand side. You want to brake just about at the 50-meter board and go down about 2 gears, and you want to hug the inside here and use as much of the exit curve as possible, and then you want to use that little entry on the right hand side. And again, Rohei is going to pit wide there, nice left right, and now you're just thinking about the last 2 corners, again using up the track on the exit. You want to, this is a very fast corner, the rear end likes to step out here as well. You want to round it off in about 5th gear and carry as much speed, and you want to hug that inside, and when you feel that bump going through the apex of the final corner, you know you've nailed your turning point and the apex of that corner. And Rohei goes across the line at a 120.9, and I have a feeling that's probably not going to be good enough.
No, it hasn't, unfortunately, and G has gone fast for 120.2, so immediately answering the Australian drivers, we get to see the times from the rest of the drivers. Ballista's currently going through the final corner at the moment. Sato is following suit. Scoob is going across the line here.
What?
He does not set a time, surprisingly.
Well,
so
I wanted to also say on that onboard, a lap around the final corner is when as Ballista goes fastest than 18.9. Like I said, watch out for him this weekend, especially with Alessia Series 10 kilo ballast penalty. Going through that last corner, I don't know if you two have driven around the Red Bull Ring, you probably have, but when you hit that bump in that final corner apex, that bump actually helps stabilize the car and not allow it to drift off too wide on the exit. So that bump, when you hit it, you know you've hit that apex perfectly.
yeah.
It's a brilliant track. It's all about maximizing your entry and exit as much as possible.
Well, that bump there is pretty much signifying the camber of that corner there. Of course,
Yes.
that corner it's not quite banked, but it does dip in a little bit and then opens up towards the straight. As we were
Yes.
looking to beforehand, you have that tactile feedback throughout the wheel, that if you get that feeling through the wheel, Scoop will hopefully be able to get so in a moment, or I guess he's on a controller, so he won't quite get the same
No, we get it
tactile
on a
feedback.
controller. We get it on a controller as well, not as much, but you can definitely feel the bump through the vibration through the controller.
Huh, I don't know
Definitely
that.
can. Yeah. That's how I know, because I race on the controller, and yeah, when I go through that bump, I can definitely feel it. Anyways, Scooby has gone second, half a second off Ballista. Alessio Series, 7/10 off the pace. The defending series champion is not ready to loosen up his tight grip on the crown just yet. Is
No,
he?
not yet. Both first and second, Ballista and Scoob respectively, are both on the medium tires. Ballista with the 118.3 is currently the fastest logged lap on the server at the moment.
Yep.
Scoob with the 118.8 is the third fastest time logged on the server at the moment. Both are on medium, Alessio is on the hards, and of course he is nursing that 10 kilograms of ballast.
Oh, okay. So lesser series on the hard tires. Interesting.
Yes, him and Lake Bud are the only two opting to use hards currently.
Mm. We saw last weekend at Fuji that Scooby, contrary to what we thought initially on top of the show, was able to extend that medium stint at a very good pace throughout. So it's going to be interesting to see at the Red Bull Ring whether they're going to have the same sort of a result, because the Red Bull Ring, even though it doesn't have as many corners, because of the long, fast corners, the outside tires go through so much load. It's going to be interesting to see if someone does use the medium at any point during the race, how the mediums hold up over a race stint.
Yep, absolutely. As you were saying, that Alessia goes second fastest, 118.6. So interestingly enough, Scoob not quite having the pace that you'd expect. He's currently on a fly lap at the moment. We were just on board with Miko. Just seeing him, very squirrely through the exit there. So I think
It's
that
on a controller, definitely very difficult to nail the last two corners, because you have to get your turn-in point absolutely perfect, especially because of the speed you're traveling at. So, yep, it's going to be interesting to see how this all turns out with 8 minutes to go.
But as I was saying, interesting enough, Scoop is not quite carrying the pace that we were expecting him to carry through the practice session onto qualifying.
I wouldn't count him out until the last run. He can always surprise us. Scoop started off the season on a bit of a, let's just say less than optimal note, because he was running into quite a few incidents, some his fault, some not his own, and he just didn't seem to have the pace. For the first few rounds, his teammate Rohei was ahead of him, but the last 2 or 3 rounds, he has really reaffirmed his position as number 1 in the team, and as I say that, he's gone wide. He's got back into the top 5 in the standings in the last pro spot.
There is a little bit of a what could have been, honestly, I think, for Scoop. But I reckon he'll be happy to be able to secure a 5th place.
I think he would have definitely been a lot closer to Sato and Ballista had it not been for those issues. He could have had a serious challenge for P2. And on the face of it, with the pace he's showing, at least in Fuji, if he had that pace at the start of the season, who knows what else he could have achieved so far. As Nico goes 5th fastest.
Yep. And
Sato has gone into the second. Yeah, so where's that pace come from? We've not seen Sato really set the world on fire over the last 24 hours since everyone's been practicing on the server. But Sato, when it matters, as he always does, has slotted himself into P2. And I feel like Sato is a bit of like the Johan Zarco in Artito Racing. He's so fast and consistent, but still yet to win. Or he probably has a win at some point, doesn't he?
Well, he's had the win of race 1 at Hockenheim.
Yes, okay, he did win a race once. My bad.
Yes.
But yeah, Sato is so consistent. He's consistently up there in the top 2, top 3. And if it wasn't for Ballista and Alessia Series, Sato would be dominating the championship right now.
Certainly. But as things remain with 6.5 minutes left in qualifying, it's currently Yakitori 1-2 is currently following Rohei.
Yeah.
We'll be hoping to improve on his time there. I don't think that's going to be quite how he does it. He touches the gravel a little bit.
Sato takes
on
the
exit.
fastest.
Sato's gone fastest.
Sato's gone pole. 3 place Sato for Yakitori Racing. And let's not forget, Sato is in an almighty battle with his teammate. And as we say to him, Alessia is under a 10th between the top 3. This is great. This is what we signed up to watch, as we see Ballista now on a hot lap as he goes into turn 3 for the second of the 2 Yakitori cars down the road at the moment. Like I said, don't forget that these 2 are in an almighty battle for second place. It may just be second place, but it's also for bragging rights within the team, within the two Japanese drivers. So Ballista will have to pull out all the stops here to make sure that not only does he hook up this lap to hang on to the slim championship hopes that he has, but also not get trounced by his teammate again this weekend.
Interestingly enough, Sato has never finished ahead of Ballista. Any of our championships, Ballista has always finished ahead of his countrymen.
Yes, exactly.
It'll be interesting to see whether Sato can put one on Ballista and possibly be able to finish ahead of his teammate.
Yeah, 3-time champion teammate, let's not forget as well.
Yep.
And he still has a shout this year. Still has a shout.
Certainly.
As he rounds the final corner.
Oh, he's on fast.
He's gone a bit wide there. He he's pushing that Yakitori car to the absolute limit right now. He's wringing the neck around his Red Bull ring, and he doesn't improve his time, unsurprisingly. But you can just see how hard he's having to push. Scooby now is starting to lose a bit of touch with the top three. If he wants to have a chance at getting pole position and getting anywhere near pole position, he's gonna have to hook up the perfect lap. And as we say that, he's gone to within 4/10, which is his best lap on the service so far. However, still 4/10 around the Red Bull ring at this part of the weekend is gonna be very hard.
He didn't improve his times in both Sector 1 and Sector 3, but is still left a 10th on the table in Sector 2. But it seems that Scoop is starting to reach VMAX, unfortunately.
Yep. And Nico rounding out the top 5 just under a second. Good battle there for P5. Lake Fun just keeping them honest as well. Rohei in 8th place, and Josh Mitchell rounding out the final positions on the starting grid for now, as we still right on board here with Ballista with the penultimate corner fast approaching. How is the Japanese going to tackle them? He's thrown the car and you can just see he's having to control that slide, that rear end getting all loosey-goosey, using that exit curb and that exit AstroTurf to his advantage. Across the line he comes and he doesn't improve his lap time. So with 3.5 minutes to go, can Ballista stay out on these other tyres and still find a way to improve, or will he have to come in? Only time will tell. Meanwhile, let's just go on board with Alessia Siri or Free Play Sato to see what they're up to, shall we? 3 minutes to go. As we see Sato rounding off the final corner. Is he about to end a hot lap? He probably did, but he's probably going to start a hot lap now as well.
Yeah,
and as we see him, yep. It's very close between the top 3. That's what we want to see. As Sato goes up into turn 3, and he has a bit of a lock-up on the inside, so a bit of cadence braking there, just getting off the brake pedal to let that inside unlock itself and then get the rotation in as he goes towards turn 5. I'm really bad with corner names on any racetrack and corner numbers, but Sato just hunting that inside and then using that exit curve as good as he can, and then he brings it into turn 7, I believe, and he breaks just at the 50-meter board. Let's see. He's left a bit of margin to the apex there, but he should be able to gather it back on the exit. Hugs the inside just about on the left-hander, followed by the right-hander there, and towards the penultimate corner. How aggressive is he willing to be when he tries to car? And you can just see him trying to use the maximum of that track, and he kept it within track limits. Fair play to Sato, and he rounds off the final corner. Not using the AstroTurf on exit. Is he going to improve his lap time? Across the line he comes.
He does! 118.1!
Wow. He goes an 18-1. And the pressure is off the championship leader if he wants pole. But that's a brilliant lap from Sato to put himself into provisional pole position. He may have just enough time to go back at the pits and do one more lap. But Alessia Siri now is going to have to wring the neck off that car, get pole position as he brings it around turn 5. You can see how squirrely it is. I'll be very surprised at that pole position for him, at least on this lap, because you can just see that he's asking too much from the car, and the car is just not able to give what it wants. And let's not forget, he's also nursing a 10-kilo balance here as well, so bit of understeer in that car, and it's very evident. And let's not forget, this is a driver that loves oversteer. And you can see him rounding off the penultimate corner and the final corner. Again, just, you don't want to use too much curve on exit because you just get beached there. And I think that may be session over for Alessia Series. So unless Ballista here, and he's gone wide and over the sausage curb, that will cost him all the way down to turn 3. Unless Ballista puts in a mammoth, an incredible sector 2, sector 3. Sato looks to have pole position secured in the bag, and not many of us would have predicted that on top of the show.
No, certainly not. Ballista currently trying to eke out the last remaining seconds of this qualifying session. And from what I can tell, this seems to be much more gingerly in comparison to the rest of the laps that he's done. I think he's...
Sometimes gingerly may be faster. Not sometimes, all the time. Gingerly is faster. The more flamboyant a lap is, like we saw with Alessia Series, the slower it generally is. So let's just see what this lap holds for Ballista.
Second times don't look very good.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
he's
he's
just
lost the rear end as well. And
and G gets collided with that, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah,
A
that's
poorly timed
unfortunate.
positioning there from G, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Gets
right.
the,
That's just
side
wrong
into that.
place, wrong time. But yeah, that's going to be qualifying over, and it's a Yakitori car on pole position. But contrary to what most people may have predicted, it's replay Sato putting one on his team win. And let's not forget, they're about 9 points apart in the championship or something like that. That's
Yes.
a big result. That's a very big result.
So Sato in P1 followed by Alessio Siri in P2, Ballista in P3 rounds out the two Yakitori cars, Scoop in P4, 3/10 of Ballista. In P5 is Miko, as Josh Mitchell crosses the line, followed by G in 6th, Lakebun 7th, Rohei in 8th, and Josh Michael rounds off the small grid this round in 9th.
Yep. I remember the good times when you had 20 people racing. Like, wonder what happened to that.
As the drivers are getting their final setups ready, getting their strategy all prepared, and
21
waiting
laps.
for...
It's going to be a bit of a fast-paced race, this one. 21 laps. Full ring doesn't take long.
Lakebun goes across the line, don't believe he improves his time. No, he does not. They're currently just waiting on the rest of the drivers.
A long overtime, don't you think?
It is a very long overtime. I don't quite know what it's waiting for, I'll be honest.
I'm very
There we
surprised to see Scooby. I'm very surprised to see Scooby about half a second off the pace now.
As we are waiting for the server to do its thing, I invite you to like the stream, subscribe if you haven't. We are getting towards the back end of the season, but it doesn't mean that we're going to be finished with the league racing period after a bit of a break. We don't know how long, but after a bit of a break, we'll be intending to go to season 5 of the Artito Racing Championship. With whether we will have a new champion going to season 5 or not is yet to be seen. But I reckon if you stick around long enough, you'll be able to find that out first.
What do we have for the race win? At least for the first race.
I had Ballista beforehand, now I'm not so sure.
Now
It's really a
gonna,
coin flip.
Yeah, now even I can't rule out Scooby or Miko for that matter in this as well. Any one in those top 6, I believe, can win this race, depending on how turn 1 and the opening lap, or the opening 2 laps for that matter, turn out. So, as they line up on the grid, 21 laps ahead of us, and then a reverse grid race for the third to last race of this season.
Round.
Yeah.
We still have more races left.
Third to last race, round rather, yes, correct. So, yeah, this will be very interesting as we've got about 30 seconds left on the clock. Will we see Alessio Siri retaining that same aggression from last weekend? I hope he does. It was great to watch. And we know Sato as well is very aggressive. This turn 1 and this lap 1 is going to be very interesting.
Certainly. As the seconds tick away, the V6 is born, the drivers get ready, the lights turn on. Get ready here for round 6 of the Red Bull Ring, the Austrian Grand Prix. Will we see a champion be crowned today? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go. And there was a pretty long hold in comparison to the rest we've seen. And it seems that Alessia's got a pretty good start in comparison to Sato. He's going to try and make a move in turn 1 here. Both drivers keeping each other very clean, but there seems to be contact behind him. Ballista
Scooby and Ballista is involved!
Oh no!
Lakebun as well, the both Satiro cars are on the wall!
And
multiple cars involved in that collision.
Wow, Scooby's in it as well. As we see a battle here. What?
Yep, and they've been elected to do a restart, and I think that's quite fair, honestly.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
That was a messy start and a messy turn 1 as
That's
well.
very, very messy. Not a fan of the restart though, not gonna lie, but anyways.
Alright, so hopefully this time we'll be able to get it correct.
So here we go, 30 seconds left on the clock. Alessio and Replay Sato on that first start seemed to get away very evenly, but it seemed like Alessio had the leg on him with the slipstream into turn 3. So this time it'll be very interesting to see who gets off the line best and the run up to turn 3. So please don't move the camera from the first 2 guys. It's going to be a great run. Garlic, take it away.
To go back to 6 red lights, hopefully be able to get this right the second time around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red lights. It's lights out and away. We
Very
go,
long
and it
hold again
seems
as
as though Alessio did not get as good a start as he got beforehand. Now he's immediately being found by Ballista heading into turn 1. Drivers are hopefully going to be able to keep it clean as they give them their second chance at this.
And
Seems
this
as though
time they
everyone's
all
gone
get
through
through around
clean this
turn
time.
1. Good stuff. And Alessio Siri now will have slipstream all the way down into turn 3.
Sato immediately trying to make some sort of gap here as we head into turn 3 now for the first time. Seems the Scoop's trying to make a move on Ballista for P3, as is Alessio on Sato. He's trying to push the Japanese driver wide coming out of turn 3. All the rest of the drivers seem to be getting through quite cleanly, but Siri is already alongside Sato for P1, going up the inside now for turn 4. Going down the
and
still
inside
side
is
by
the
side.
Italian driver, and they are still side by side. The Japanese driver trying to keep his nose involved in there, but doesn't seem to be able to make it work. And Alessio
And
already has
Alessio's-
made the move into P1. He's going defensive now into turn 6.
He's
Will
in the
the
lead.
Japanese driver be able to make any type of move here? Doesn't seem to be able to do so. And Siri has already made his intentions known in this race. He's taken the lead of the race immediately, and Ballista is now going to be harassing his teammate for that second position.
Clearly that
Yep, it's gonna
balance
be
isn't
right.
affecting him.
No, clearly not. He's straight away into the lead. Like I said, that slipstream into turn 3 was gonna be very, very, very strong. And as we round off the final corner, the top 4 separated, not by a lot. And so we see
Oops, Scoop's going for a move down the
probably
inside. No,
lining
he
up a
thinks better
move
of it.
here. And he's
Scoop thinks
probably
better of it.
thinking, yep, and let's not forget that turn 3, as most drivers seem to keep it within track limits there, which is nice, great to see. He's probably trying to set it up for turn 3, but he's not going to be close enough, and we're going to see the Yakitomi boys
Ballista's
go
making a
look
move on his
here.
teammate.
Yes, he is, and Ballista around the outside, and Sato seems to somewhat just let him go there. He made a mistake, and he beaches it on the sausage cup.
And they
Oh,
can't
and that's
Scoop
given
make
away
a
for
move.
Scoop.
Yeah, wow, those
And
were...
Sato getting the worst start at the moment, starting at P1 all the way
turn
down to
3.
P4 at the moment. And he's
Yeah.
already being harassed by Miko just in the mirrors there, and he's gone wide at turn 4.
That is
It
probably...
is not looking good for him.
That's probably the worst, or probably one of the worst start scenarios he could have envisioned, and all that work to get pole position. But let's not count him out just yet. They're all going to be in DRS of each other, so as long as he can get back into rhythm, that's the thing. That's the thing. When you have a start like that, when you have a little whoopsie like that, it's very important to get back in the rhythm straight away. Maintain your composure and stay within the DRS. Maintain that gap. Get your consistency back, and you can be right back on them. So let's just see if Sate can maintain his composure here, as the DRS will be activated at the end of this lap. And it looks like it's going to be about a 6-car battle here with the DRS train. And then let's see Siri will head it.
As we get the fastest lap locked at the moment, it seems that Ballista's the one who has the pace over the rest of the field.
Yeah, let's go on
Now
board
for
here
the
with
third time.
Ballista. It's the first time we've seen Ballista have the pace over Alessio
Oh.
Siri. So how aggressive is the Japanese, the 3-time champion, willing to be against Alessio Siri? Because like I said, this is the first time it seems like he's had the pace on his Italian championship rival this season.
And something of note, Ballista has just been logged for an illegal DRS usage coming out of turn 1.
Oh! Ooh, that's not gonna be good.
So depending on how he's activated the DRS there, or whether that's an issue on the server side, he could be getting a penalty for the end of this race. So even if he's going to be trying to battle with Alessio for that P1, it may be in vain.
Yep, and once again, Ballista cannot seem to hook up a clean weekend together this season, can he? It's
No.
very disappointing, and a lot of the times it's not even his fault. So, yeah, wow.
Well, though the Japanese driver is going to be keeping in it regardless. He's basically following the tire tracks of the Italian driver, trying to keep within the DRS, trying to keep within the slipstream, and trying to keep within contention for this win.
I mean, it
Yes,
is
he
him who
absolutely
pressed
is,
the
as we
DRS
see.
button.
They both are using every bit of the track now to maximize their performance. Scooby is about half a second behind on all of this, as Alessio Siri now up to the pace. And yeah, they seem to be respecting track limits quite well here, so it's great to see so far from the opening 3 laps that track limit is so far not an issue. Long way to go still. And like I said, we don't want to see track limits be an issue and how races should be decided.
As Rohei's also gotten a penalty for illegal DRS
Where are you seeing
usage.
all this? Where are you seeing all this?
In chat.
Oh no! Whoa! Yeah.
Yeah, so both Rohe and Ballista are going to be facing down the barrel of a penalty for this race, unfortunately. But back to the front, it seems that Scooby's
Scooby's got
trying
a
to
bit of
harass Ballista at the moment. For that
Scooby's got a bit
P2,
of
he's
a
putting a
spare
nose.
exit.
Putting a Nova on the outside, you're gonna try and do the crisscross. You didn't quite get the move solidified through there.
it's
He's gonna
close.
be looking for a move to
Oh,
7.
God.
No, he thinks
And
better of
this
it. He backs
This
out.
is power Scooby. I would not be trying to push for the move here because all this is allowing is Alessio Siri to escape. Just stay in his tire tracks and attack him into the DRS straight. Going side by side through the middle sector is not going to do either of them good because I can't see them as we see Scooby going a bit wide there. Look at that. Alessio Siri is trying to open up the gap there. So, bit of a lapse in racecraft from Scooby.
And he's still
but-
improving his time.
Yep.
Yeah.
But Siri,
he
even
doesn't
with
have to- yeah, he doesn't have, because that lap, the pressure was released from behind him because Scooby was harassing Ballista. So, yeah, bit of a lapse in racecraft. Now, if I was Scooby, I'd be
He's
trying
going
to press for the
defensive
move.
now.
He's
Makes the
going
move
super,
round the
super defensive.
outside.
And he's had to concede, so Scooby up into second place. 1.6 seconds behind, so he's still within DRS. Now he's going to get after Alessio Siri. And, guys, he may have not fulfilled your prediction of a pole position, but a race win certainly seemed on the cards here.
Yes, yep, seems that the Indonesian driver has the pace over at least the Japanese drivers. Will he be able to challenge Alessio Siri for that race win as well? Time will
He's
tell. But
closing
it
in.
seems he is closing in, but it seems as though on the penalty end, multiple drivers getting penalties. Now Rohit's gotten a second one, as well as G. So I wonder if something is busted from the server end.
Yeah, we're going to have to look at that post-race. So, yeah, a lot of people getting ticked off for illegal DRS penalties. Having said that, all along, Scooby is now under a second. And this is a reverse of what we saw in race 2 of Fuji. So, it's going to be great to watch.
Yes,
If
and I
and when
reckon
Scooby gets
tensions
there.
are going to be quite high between two drivers. As speaking of tensions between the two Yakitori cars,
Oh,
both of them trying to battle for P2 in the championship and the hope
Yeah.
of being able to remain in P1. As I said beforehand, Sato has to remain at least 4th for both races to remain within the championship. So if he drops down, he's out.
Yep. And right about now, are they playing a team game or they're driving for each other? I reckon they're driving for each other.
It's entirely possible.
Someone had a
Meanwhile,
big
though, it
knock up
seems
front.
as though Scoop is gaining quite significantly on Siri.
I wonder if
He
he
is.
made a mistake.
Yes. We saw a big lockup that may have been from Alessio Siri. So, like I said, reverse from last weekend is going to be great to see. And is Scooby going to be patient with Alessio Siri, or is he going to go for the aggressive? Is he willing to be? Let's find out as we go on board with the mystery gang. Just getting all squirrely there off that corner as we go into the S's. Just hugging that inside. Alessio Siri with that 10 kilo balance. Just see how much understeer he's got mid-corner, carrying that extra 10 kilos in his car as we go into the final two corners as he sends it in. And he's going to have DRS on the main straight. He looks quite close. If he can get a good run up on turn 1, he may have to get DRS on this straight. He's going to get DRS up on turn 3, and he's going to get DRS in turn 5. So it's all about just setting up turn 1, not getting too eager.
Not
And
flipping the
he rounds off
apexes.
the exit for, he put the apex together quite well. He gets a
He is
brilliant
gaining.
exit. And if I were him, I would just set it up for turn 5. But let's see what he does. Is he going to...
He's looking for a dive though.
He probably is. Will he make
Oh,
a
he
statement?
thinks better of it,
It covers it off, but he gets a squarer exit. Can he set it up into turn 5? That's just he seems to have pulled just enough of a gap for now to survive that threat. But there's still 15 laps to go.
Oh, he takes the wide line and he
he's
gets...
right behind the
Oh,
Italian
oh my
driver now,
God.
and this is the prime opportunity for the Scoop to be able to make some
Now
sort
he
of
can
move.
go. Now he can go for
P1.
the move. He can go for the move now into the middle sector if he wants to. Because let's not forget, Alessio Siri can move a lot of things here in this, and he seems to have enough of the pace of a ballista to not worry about losing too much overall race time. So let's see where Scoop, if and when he does make the move. Alessio Siri seems to be fast enough just at the right places, i.e. the exits, to just hold Scooby with it, hold him within arm's length.
That is true. Scooby is doing his best to hound and harass Alessio Siri.
Yeah. Scooby has, like I said, really come strong towards the back end of the season, and now he looks a lot closer. Is Alessio Siri starting to play a bit of games here? Is he rolling
Oh,
off
the exit is
potentially?
poor.
Yep. Is he starting to roll off the trouble potentially to give DRS to the Indonesian driver, because he seems to be very slow into turn 1. So maybe a bit of games being played here as well. Scooby probably setting it up for turn 5. He gets a brilliant D exit there. and he's gonna have DRS. But like I said, Alessia Series seems to be just fast enough at the right places for now to hold Scooby behind. Pick up into turn 6 again. Alessia Series goes defensive, and Scooby once again gets a brilliant exit off that corner, and is he gonna be able to mount the challenge defensive again in TT? Two left-handers coming up, so can the Indonesian get a bit closer? He just needs to get a better exit coming off of turn 1 and a better exit going off of turn 5. It seems like those are the two places where he's losing that crucial time to Alessia Siri in this battle. And the longer he stays behind, the more he's going to understeer like he just did there, and the more he's going to wear his tires, and the more frustrated as well he's probably going to get as a result. So, yeah, crucial. Patience is going to be a key game, yeah, these two.
Certainly, and Alessio now starting to feel the pressure of the Indonesian driver breathing down his neck right behind him. And this is probably going to be a prime opportunity for Scoop if he wants to make this move here.
It hasn't worked in the turn 5, he has to go for the move. Obviously a long way to go in this race.
He goes defensive.
He goes very defensive.
Oh, and he's missed the apex then. That's given an opportunity for Scoop to make some crisscross move, but he doesn't get the power down, unfortunately.
Yes,
so Alessio is saved.
Scooby was trying to get a very round exit there, and he got on the front a bit too eagerly, and he lost that rear end. So once again, Alessio survived that assault, but Scooby seems to have the pace.
He's so strong in that corner.
It's going to be a matter of Scooby not making a mistake, because if he makes a mistake, it's going to be very difficult for him to get back into the DRS. But for now, it seems like Scooby does seem to have the slightest of edge in race pace.
Oh, just
right for Siri.
Yeah, you can see Alessia Siri just swirling, and he's going defensive again, trying to break that slipstream. Let's not forget, unlike the cars we've raced before in previous seasons, these cars are very sensitive to slipstream with their large aero, advantages over the GT cars we've raced in the past. So, as we see Scooby once again gaining with a DRS and slipstream, he's probably going to try and set it up into turn 1.
Better exit for him now.
He seemed to miss the apex there.
And this seems to be the opportunity.
This is as close as he's been in the previous few laps. Alessia Siri will go defensive.
Oh, it's going side by side.
Breakers. Scooby gets the advantage into the corner, but he's going to cross behind
the
Italian driver. Gets a little bit blocked by the Italian driver. There's good racecraft from both of them, I have to say. Scoop's going to try and go for the move here, now down towards turn 4. He's already ahead into the braking zone, and he'll take P1 at least for the meantime. Alessio just to the nose in there.
Oh, he got squeezed!
He
got Albano.
No, I think Scoop's done that of his own volition, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's on him. Alessia Siri just put a nose in there, and Scooby got a bit intimidated, and he ran wide as a result. So, Alessia Siri with a brilliant move there to retain his lead here as we approach the halfway point in this race.
But now Ballista is right back into this battle for P1.
Yes, let's not forget that. Yep, Japanese is right back in this, using his years of experience.
And Scooby drives down to the pits.
Yeah, and I think that's quite fair, actually. I think the grip on his medium tires has pretty much gone out entirely, and the hards are starting to be a better race start at the moment.
Yep, as we see now Ballista, let's see what he can do. Alessia Siri. Ballista seems to have the pace at this point in the race. He's done well to put himself back into victory contention, obviously aided by the fact that the two ahead of him have been going side by side for a majority of the previous few laps. So now it's a battle of, is it more of a battle of strategy, or is it more of a battle of overall racecraft? What do you guys think?
It's going to be a strategy at the moment, because Ballista's on the mediums and Alessio's on the hards.
Wow, okay. So he's done quite well to eke out the mediums a bit longer and a bit better than what Scooby has. So he's nursing those mediums along quite well. It's going to be interesting to see whether he chooses to retain the mediums for the second stint, or does he opt to go for the hards, which Alessia Siri is a master of. He's always used the hard tire in all his stints, and he's a master at managing that as well and finding that consistency over a race pace. So what is Ballista going to do this time around? Is he going to peel into the pit lane? As we see Alessia Siri probably. And
Alessia's going to go into the pit lane here, which is interesting enough. So Ballista continues.
Interesting with the hards as well.
Yeah. So the guy with the harder tire has gone into the pits first, but I feel like unlike Ferrari, this is a good strategy.
Right, and
Obviously,
now we
Ballista.
will
So
have to look
Ballista
towards.
is the sole driver who hasn't pitted yet.
Yes, and we're
Nope,
gonna have to look
and-
towards where Scoop and Siri come out in comparison to each
Let's
other.
not forget as well that Ballista will have a lighter car compared to the people around him. So this is a very crucial lap to see if he can make that overcut work. For those of you who are not familiar with this style of racing where refueling is allowed, having an overcut is actually an advantage because you have a lighter car, and you potentially have to put in less fuel in the next stop as well. So in terms of overall race time, it does help you. So how does that play into the hands of Ballista? We're going to find out within the next few laps.
Nearly
And
hammer
it seems
time
that
for
Scoop
him.
has it seems that Scoop has lost out in the pit-stop phase, unfortunately. Alessio
Yeah,
has been
he
able
has.
to gain quite a significant gap.
Satya's lost out quite a bit as well there, hasn't he? Over the last few laps. 5 seconds behind Siri. Let's not forget he was jumping to the lead in lap 1. So Satya does not seem to have the race pace like he did in terms of qualifying. So
No.
Ballista
disappointing
now
for the.
has dove into the pits.
Yep, so Ballista
There
into
he
the
is.
pits. And interesting, the gap is 18 seconds, and from what I can tell on my side, the delta difference is about 15 that you lose when going into pits. So I wonder if Ballista might actually be able to pip Alessio here for the lead.
Why not? So like I said, he's gonna have to put in less
There
fuel in the
goes
car.
Siri
Like
now.
Oh, there goes Siri. And Ballista has just been released, and it's actually going to be fairly close. Closer than I was expecting, to be honest.
really, I was expecting it to be a
Much
lot
more
closer
closer
than
than
that.
yeah, that's true.
He's lost about a second and a half there, if not more.
And
Interesting.
Siri beginning to romp away at the race there.
He is with that 10 kilo ballast pump because he's doing
Yes,
quite
when the
himself.
10 kilos. So yeah, you have to see his true pace, realistically.
Yeah,
Oh, Sato's making it wrong in turn 3.
And Sada can't afford to be making all those moves, honestly, because that's going to lose him time. And right behind, who is probably going to be wanting to fight for points,
Miko.
is Miko.
and G's lost a bit of pace compared to the top 5. About
Yeah,
9
G's dropped off a
seconds
little bit, unfortunately. I'm not really sure what's happened to him.
Nico is now less than a second in the gap.
behind.
Yeah, so he's going to have DRS,
DRS.
Japanese driver.
He will, indeed.
But
I'll
he's
be right
losing time on the corners. What happened there to Miko?
I'm not totally sure.
Lost so much amount of
Yeah.
time.
Seems that Sada is also losing time, from what I can see.
There's quite the gap between all the drivers now.
Yes, the DRS trains are starting to form a little bit towards the end of the race.
So yeah, there's definitely a null in the action.
Yes, unfortunately. But it seems as though, I'll keep you posted on the sector times. Seems as though everyone's pretty equal to sector 1 at the moment.
Can you give it via DTS style?
GTS.
Drive to survive.
Is there style for it? I thought it was just like over dramatizing.
Yeah, where they announced the purples while qualifying.
There's no purples at the moment, it's all just space times.
Well, right now, Scooby has the fastest lap of the track.
Yeah, Scuba at the moment is the fastest lap. He did that in lap 5, so it's a little while ago. But it was on the mediums and it was around towards this stage of his tyre life, so I suspect we'll start to see Scooby getting to pick up the pace a little bit in comparison to the rest of the field.
Sato now is closing in bit by bit to Scooby, but the DRS train is preventing them to get a good battle going on.
Yeah, it seems as so. Seems Ballista is a little faster than the rest of his competitors through Sector 3. He's able to post personal best Sector 3 of a 27.5. For context, everyone else is doing a 27.8.
Yeah, but let's not forget Siri has already pulled away from the DRS gap.
He has two, actually, I didn't even consider that.
So yeah, I mean, Alessio Siri is already on clear air at the moment.
And the laps are starting to run out, unfortunately, so it seems as though the battle first, unless Siri either gets into some traffic or makes a major mistake, might already be decided quite early on. But the battle for second is far from done yet, as Scoob and Ballista are starting to draw towards each other a little bit. Ballista is starting to drop off a little bit on the pace, and Scoob is starting to pick up. He's now doing personal best in Sector 2.
In other news of action, Josh Mitchell is ahead of Rohe.
Yes, I think Rohe had to hit a second time because he has some sort of damage.
I see.
Yeah, so Josh Mitchell being able to garner some points here for Superior Racing, as is Lakebun actually, so P7 and P8 in this race will serve them quite well in the Constructors' Championship, and I think we'll put them on level pegging with Brabham Boys as well.
That's nice. I believe that the Brabham boys are already out of the picture.
Yeah, unfortunately, both of them unable to race, but it looks of it for the rest of the season, as work commitments for them personally, which is a bit of a shame, but hopefully we'll be able to see them in Season 5 if they so wish to drive.
So yeah, oh my god. Can't believe this is happening. There's so much null in the action here.
Yeah, it's at the moment it's just the driver starting to
If you're looking
turn
at
the laps in.
if you're looking at the track map, they're decently they have decent gap between each other, especially for the positions 5 and 6.
Oh, interestingly enough, Ballista's starting to reel in Siri quite a bit. Ballista
that
just
is
posted
true.
a purple in
1.6.
Sector 1.
Now
In Sector 2, sorry.
1.2. What's happening with Siri?
Yeah, what's happening with Siri? And Ballista's just suddenly said the time she's alive. He said a purple in Sector 2.
That's nice. As well as Miko is closing in on Sato.
Yeah, Miko's faster than Sato this lap by about 0.2 of a second.
So yeah, there we go. Ballista and Scooby trading fastest laps.
Oh, and suddenly the race isn't actually quite done yet, and Siri is dropping massively in
Yeah,
time.
exactly. It's going less than a second now.
I don't know what's happened to Siri, actually. I'll keep an eye on his POV in the meantime, but here we're on board with Ballista, and Ballista's just under a second now behind Siri, and he's going to have the advantage of the DRS and very soon the slipstream on the Italian driver.
Oh, it's not looking good. As Tobel just joined, probably joining the
Tobe's
second
joined.
race. Wow.
It was good to see Tobe. So Kamikami might actually get some points this round. You can see Ballista eking just a little closer towards his championship rival. Every corner, every little bit of straight, just eking out a tiny bit of time. They, though, unfortunately, seem to be losing a bit of time through turn 6.
Mika significantly
Meanwhile-
closed the gap as well as to Sato.
Yes, he has, and Sato's struggling for grip by the looks of it. Miko's just
What?
set 2 personal bests in this previous lap, and he's
While
now
I've been
really
away-
gaining on Japan.
While I've been away, how has Ballista closed the gap? What happened there?
I don't know.
You clearly have
You were surprised as well.
Wow, he's back into DRS.
Yep, he
And
is.
Josh Mitchell ahead of Rohe.
Yes.
Wow. But
Rohe
Rohe
has
does
already
have a...
Very hard to
Thank
box,
you, Lefty.
unfortunately.
Wow, okay.
But I believe Miko just said his personal best fastest lap last lap. Yeah, so Miko's really reeling in Sato at the moment. He seems to have the pace over the Japanese driver and wants that P4 quite badly. Unless he set a personal best Sector 1.
Might have relaxed a bit.
Yep, there was a momentary excitement over already on lap 18 of the first race. So the time's actually gone quite quickly, I have to say.
Yeah, I thought 21
But,
laps would be quite a long race, but no.
No,
It worked out almost
Sato.
perfectly.
Clearly something's going on with Sato. He's losing the
He
gap
has
with
no...
Scooby as well.
He just doesn't... He doesn't seem to have the pace he had in qualifying, and that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't quite know what's happening there. Ballista's set of purple Sector 2.
Wow.
So Ballista may be looking for a fastest lap here.
He's within 1 second. Let's go on board with the... Shall we?
Yeah,
might
he
be
is
getting
gaining at a rapid pace here, and he is gaining enough to be able to make some sort of move here on the Italian driver, but he's going to need to make that move quick sharp because
Oh God,
he's running
that's-
out of time and running out of laps.
Here's the thing. Catching is one thing. Passing is a completely different.
As
takes
Scoop
the
sets a
fastest
purple
lap.
set. Yeah, Scoop set a purple Sector 3 through there. and
Let's
he's,
see, he went wide there.
catching Ballista.
He went wide. Alessio went wide there. at turn
Oh,
one.
he did too,
That
and
was-
Alessio's losing time.
8.7.
Yep, he's lost 3 tenths through there just that like corner alone.
0.6 now. He's closing very, very much.
And he's now right in the clutches of the Japanese driver, trying to escape the Yakitori car and his championship rival. The Ballista is right there. He will have the slipstream, he will have the DRS, and it seems that he may have the pace over the Italian driver as we get towards the dying laps of race 1 here at the Red Bull Ring. And now he's right behind the Italian, going through turn 4 now, into turn 5. It seems though.
Nico as well is battling with Sato.
Yep, he's right there, and it seems as though Ballista is suddenly awoken now.
Oh, Sirius gone wide!
Oh, Sirius gone on the gravel there. He's gone wide, and now this is going to really open up. It's really going to open up the door for Ballista. He's going to try and make some sort of move here, probably going in through turn 1 or turn 3. But in the meantime, he's holding station against the Italian driver, just making sure not to make mistakes, making sure to stay in the slipstream. Going a little wide through turn 10 there. It's going to probably compromise his line a little bit. Be able to get it back up to the slipstream with the DRS. You can physically see him moving.
Turn 1?
He has a peek down the
I
inside.
heard him lift.
Yeah, he has a peek down the inside turn 1, but thinks better of it. He's going to maybe set up some sort of move here for turn 3. He's going to wait for that slipstream to kick in. And then he's gaining on the Italian ever so slightly.
Probably by the wing setup, but
yeah,
we'll have to wait for the next DRS.
And now Scoop is right involved in this. You can just see in Ballista's mirrors, he's getting much bigger in the Japanese driver's mirrors there. Scoop is right involved.
I think it's
this
going
middle
to be a three-way battle for
this
the
middle
first
sector
place.
coming up for LSS series is so important. Is he going to be able? Oh my god! As I say that, because if he can make himself a decent gap, he can have a bit of a relaxed time comparatively relaxed time on the last lap. But I just said that. That's what the commentators curse on him. He made a mistake, and now he's right under pressure from him in this middle sector.
Once again, he's going wide.
And Ballista's going to be able to capitalize on here from Alessio's mistakes through sector 2. And as we go towards the penultimate corner for the second to last time this race, it's getting ever tenser. And Ballista is really going to only have one opportunity here, or maybe two, depending on how he plays his cards. And it's going to be either through turn 3 or turn 4. As we go into the main straight, it's like the final lap of race 1 here at the Red Bull Ring. Alessio Siri and Ballista separated by less than half a second. Scoob in the throng of it, just behind, 7/10 behind the Japanese driver.
Oh, no.
And Siri has not gotten the exit that he wanted, but neither is Ballista. Ballista gets all checked up, working the wheel there, trying to make sure that he doesn't turn that Yakitori car. And Siri is going to be sweating bullets, but be thankful at least the momentary reprieve. He'll gain on the Japanese driver just a little bit here, going in towards turn 3 now for the final time this race. And Siri not quite getting the exit as he wants. Ballista right behind him. You'll have the DRS here. Will he be able to make a move here? I don't think he will. If he is, it's going to be very opportunistic. Japanese driver is gaining, but is he getting enough? No, he is not. Down into turn 5 here for the final time this race. But Siri getting it all wrong again.
He seems to be really struggling at the bottom of the hill at turn 5.
He's probably locking
sideways at the apex. Yeah.
And Ballista gaining on the Italian yet again, trying to get any semblance of an opportunity here. He's right behind him, but it may be too little too late as the Italian might just about be able to keep the Japanese driver behind. He is right behind Alessio Siri, but Ballista seems to have ran out of time. He's running out of corners to go through the final corner for the final time. Alessio Siri will just squeak it out. As Ballista goes onto the grass here, and that may give the opportunity for Scoop to make a move. Scoop going across the line.
Fuel.
He's out of fuel. Yeah, he ran out of fuel.
And
Ballista.
Yeah, and Ballista has unfortunately been unable to get the P2, and Scoop will nick it at the death of the race. And what a well-deserved victory there for Alessio Siri. He's doing donuts in the grass, and honestly, he kind of deserves it for that still defense.
He deserves it. Yep, we gave him a penalty. He rose above it. Well done.
Oh, well unfortunate for Ballista though, losing fuel at the last moments of the race.
Yeah.
Which grants Scooby second place.
So with that now, the championship gap opened up to 71 points. So the championship will not be decided today, but Alessio Series made a massive step forward, especially considering he had a ballast penalty to win the race and gain 10 points on a championship rival. And I think Sato has got out of championship contention now, hasn't he? Or is he still in it just about?
Sato is still in it just. But Miko is struggling.
Efficient. Yeah.
If Miko does not finish third this race, he's out.
Tom has joined.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Is he gonna be racing?
He might be racing for race
Race 2.
Yeah.
Kami Racing have hope, ladies and gentlemen. It's not over just yet.
So the dream still
Oh.
lives on for Kamikami Racing.
Yep. Let's not forget, our commentator here is a reserve driver for Kami Racing. Mate, what are you
Yes.
doing? The team needs you. Go!
Well, the broadcast needs me more.
No one
much as
can
I
do
want-
the camera operation.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I want to help them out, but my my obligations
darling,
are
can
here.
you type on the chat, on the race chat, can you type to talk that he's good to race? He asked me on Discord, but he
Yeah,
may
he
have
said it's fine. I just told him.
stuff. Alright, race 2. This is gonna be fun. Now,
It'll
Alessia
be
Series got
interesting.
0
Yeah.
kilos of ballast.
So Alessio completely unstrapped here, but he will be starting from the very back of the grid.
It'll be interesting to see how he approaches in terms of progression this race, especially after last weekend.
So the
Get some
last
water before this,
race-
because this is going to be chaotic.
Yeah,
This
it's
will be
gonna
the
get
last
chaotic.
race of this track.
Josh Mitchell is gonna be on the front row in this race.
I wonder if that's going to pan.
Josh Mitchell, if he leads the lap, Josh Mitchell, he is the GOAT of Artito Racing. Let's call the race after lap 1, shall we, if he's leading the race?
Or just like, that's the points now.
yeah. We give you half points, but we just do 1 lap.
More like Spa 2021.
Spa 2021 vibes, exactly.
Well, the grid
Here we
forms
go.
for the first race. In P1 we have Rohei, P2 Josh, followed by Lakebun, G, Miko, Sato, Ballista Scoob, Alessio, and then Tobe at the very back. Except
Here
he's
we go,
not here.
boys.
Where's he gone?
Here we go.
Is
So the
Tom
idle
joining?
Jamaicans on pole position.
Where is Tobe? He's gone. Tobe has disappeared.
Oh, dear. Sad. I love these reverse grid races.
Well, I love them if they're filled with more people, but I guess it's a
It's gonna be a
difference
bit
in
straightforward
action.
now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, to go to the 6 red lights again, second and last time here at the Red Bull Ring. Drivers getting ready for round 2, the reverse grid race. Go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go. And it seems that Alessio
got a
got an
great
incredible start in comparison to the rest of the grid behind him. He's already making moves against Scoob. They're going to turn 1 now for the first time. Oh, Josh Mitchell tries to go for the lead there, but he doesn't quite get it. But Rohei will be able to take the lead out of the first corner coming down the straight here. Through turn 2 into turn 3, and it seems to be drivers just trying to find any bit of tarmac here possible. And hold your breath, ladies and gentlemen.
He's
This
not
is
in a
a
good
good
place.
Let's just see in a Yakitori Racing sandwich there.
Josh Mitchell, I think,
Oh,
went to the
there's
move
contact!
There is
Between
contact.
Rohei. Rohei lost the lead.
Yep, and those between Lakebud and Rohei, and Josh Mitchell
Josh
is in the
Mitchell
lead of
is
the
in
race.
the lead!
Incredible scenes, ladies and gentlemen. Take a screenshot of this. Josh Mitchell is leading the race.
And it seems to be an Australian 1-2 at the moment. So there's more smokers
But I
behind there.
see-
Didn't quite see who that
Who
was,
would've
but Josh
thought?
Mitchell will lead just in front of G, followed by Miko, Ballista, Sato, Siri, Lakebun, Scoob, Rohei, and Tobe has just joined. Unfortunately, a little bit too late.
I don't mean disrespect to G, but it's the youngest competitor and the oldest competitor at the moment battling for first place.
Yeah, it's true.
Wow.
And Josh Mitchell going through the penultimate corner now for the first time. He'll
And
go through turn
Alessia
10,
Siri
and he will come
Alessia
across the
Siri
line onto
to
lap 2.
lead lap 1.
leader of the race.
Wow.
Oh,
but it's
G's
not gonna
already
last
making the
very
move!
long.
But
G already
Alessia-
making the move into turn 1. He's going to say, yeah, you've had your spot in the line there, Josh. Now it's my turn. Going through sideways, I must say. Through turn 1 in style there from the
Yeah, G's
Australian.
still fighting
Oh,
back.
but
so that's
Miko's
Miko.
gonna
It's a
make the
three-way
double.
battle for first
Very
place.
wide, but this is going to be right there.
3
as well.
wide into 3. Miko thinking about the move. He likes to back out of it now. Yes, he does, but he's going to be right on the racing
G's
line there.
squeezing. Oh,
But
Josh Mitchell,
it
keep
seems-
it safe.
He seemed to be all clean. A little bit of contact there, but that was to be expected through
Alessia
such a
versus
tight
Alessia
corner.
Siri.
Yeah, but it's the Alessio here also.
And it's nose
here.
to tail there. 1, 2, 3, 4,
What?
5, 6 cars.
Now it's literally a train. Here we go. They're both making a move down the inside. Josh
Oh,
misses
Josh
the
Mitchell.
corner.
completely overbrakes himself. His moment in the limelight has completely ended in the gravel.
Unfortunate, but it was still.
Here we
a
go.
good
Here we go.
effort.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
Replay Sato
And
going around
Sato
the
around the
outside to
outside.
Scooby.
Ballista's barely hanging on by the thread here, guys. Look at
And Scoob has to relent. What a move from Sato. We were saying before, and he doesn't have the base pace. Now he's proven us wrong. They're up into P5. Next up, Alessio Siri. Why not?
Yes, that's the battle I want to see. This is the equivalent of our Max Verstappen versus Lewis Hamilton. They were side by side as well. Ballista and Alessio Siri, but it seemed like the person on the outside had to yield. Ballista's got Miko in front of him, and let's not forget, Miko does seem to have decent pace. And as I said, like he sort of passes now prematurely, and Alessio Siri now has gone past to the 20.9. So,
They're all in a
he's got
train.
lot of
They're
pace.
still in a train.
Yeah, but Siri is right behind those late plunge tide. Unfortunately, not entirely sure what happened there.
Yeah. Wow.
Alessio Siri might think of a move
Oh, is he
down
gonna
the
make
inside. I
something?
think he will do it.
Yes, he will.
Oh,
Yeah, really
keep it
collides
safe,
right
though.
there. Little bit of a
That's
deja
fine.
vu, making the move on Ballista, nearly colliding with Mika there, but he's able to get it checked up. Well done for the Italian, but he's going side by side here with
Side by
Ballista,
side
both
into turn
FBOS, and it's going to be last of the late breakers here, but Ballista's going to have
Ballista
the
is
wall of the
blocked, but Alessio
Filipino,
Siri.
and it is nearly contact again with Miko.
Ballista
But
is on the gravel.
Ballista trying to make the move on the outside there, but it hasn't worked. He's got on the gravel, and now he's going to have
Scooby nearly collided with him as well.
Yep, he's going to have Scoop for company. He goes tumbling down the order from second down to sixth. And that's not quite what the Japanese driver wanted.
Huge drama happening here in lap 3.
Incredible.
And in the meantime, G's chuckling to himself.
It's a
He's running
very-
away with this.
It's a very close gap between them now. Far different to what we have in race 1.
Whoa, G's gone sideways there through turn, and Miko's going to make the opportunity here. We can come to Miko's POV. Yep, and there he goes. Miko making the move
It's
there.
going to
And
be
that's
a double
unfortunate.
overtake for G, unfortunately.
Oh, he's going to get overtaken twice here, and Siri's going to make the move to turn 1. He's already going to be hounded, and still... Oh my goodness!
There's contact!
Sato
Sato
goes
is on
round.
the grass and in the barrier.
Sato in the wall, and with that, the championship opportunities may be over for this championship.
Still not over for the guys battling for first place, though.
No, not at all. And Siri's going to be making a move
Oh,
on G
G.
there on the inside. He'll make the move stick, but G getting it all squirrely and getting in the way a little bit of Scoob, unfortunately, to try to find his own bit of tarmac there. Scoob right behind the Australian right behind the Italian. All of them wanting to each other, Slipstream and DOS. We have to turn 4 now. G looking a little bit in the inside there, but that's not going to quite work.
Still having a
and
look.
that's going to compromise his line. For Scoob, he's going to try and make a move here. He's got his nose on the racing line. Oh, G elected to give him a
Oh, G sideways! He collided
G
with
gets
Scooby!
sideways. G gets sideways and Scoop unfortunately gets collected there, unfortunately, and I think both of them are going to have damage there. Scoop
Ballista
dropping down the order.
once again
And
back in
Scoob.
top 3.
Yeah, Scoobs is definitely gonna have damage on that front end with that hit detail.
G is just dropping off the gas there, letting Scoop back through. Good on him there. But unfortunate for both drivers, both getting damaged, and Scoop getting it squirrely as well through turn 10.
Damage is
Onto the
clearly
exit
showing.
here. Oh, G, not quite having the best of luck here. And an
Alessio Siri,
unfortunate
though,
set
is
of events.
hounding and harassing Miko.
And let's not forget, these two came together in the reverse grid race last weekend.
Exactly, that is quite right.
And they nearly came together at turn 5. When Alessio was going to the other
Alessio
side.
going
Might
towards
be
the
making a
inside.
move down the
He's
inside
going to
now.
make the move on the Filipino driver. Filipino driver electing to check up quite early. He's going to try and get an early apex and the cutback on the Italian. Is this going to work? He'll be within the slipstream, but he won't have DOS. Crucially, against the Italian driver, is Siri able to get the DOS on the Filipino just beforehand?
No, not quite,
he's done it.
but Miko
That's not
takes
easy
a
to get.
wider line in.
Yeah, Alessio Siri seems to be really struggling at turn 5 all weekend long.
Yep, that seems to be his
Achilles heel.
Yeah, I think it's because of the tighter entry compared to the other drivers as well.
Yep. And Siri already beginning to start to make a little bit of a gap against the Filipino driver. Miko is going to have the DOS and the slipstream against Siri. Meanwhile, Ballista just right behind Miko. He isn't quite down the water yet, and neither is Scoob actually, who's starting to try and make a little bit of headroom at the moment. So the damage may not be too, what's the word I'm looking for? Unsurmountable for the Indonesian driver, but it is going to be a bit of a stick in the gears, unfortunately. As Sirius is fast up to 119.3, wow.
That's fast. That's what he can do without ballast.
Yeah, exactly.
Incredible pace.
qualifying times here from the Italian driver, as Miko trying to stay with Siri in the slipstream and with the DRS as well. He seems to be able to do so at least a little bit there, and Ballista is right behind Miko. And so this battle for first place for the podium positions is going to get very interesting very, very quickly.
And indeed it is. So at the moment, unless it's Siri and Miko, Ballista round out the top 3. G hanging on in the top 5. Roy has done quite well to go back into 6th place. Or having said that, it is a reverse burst race. So if he can maintain that position between now and the end of the race, that's going to be a good result for him, I think.
Absolutely, and it seems as though the battle for P1, P2, and P3 seems to be stabilizing a little bit as all 3 drivers start to get settled in. But let's set the purple sector 2 at the moment. So he's a little bit faster than the rest of his compatriots.
Ever so closer to Miko now.
He is gaining, and I wonder if he's going to be thinking about a move here on the Filipino driver. Probably not through turn 1 here, but maybe through turn 3 or turn 4.
Whoa.
119.2, where did that come from, Ballista?
Oh, Siri's gone wide! He's gone
So
very
he has
wide!
gone wide. And that's going to compromise his line coming up through turn 3 here. And Miko's going to be right on the tyre tracks of the Italian driver, and Ballista's going to have to slipstream with both of them. Miko going to look around the outside. Alessio squeezing him, but leaving just enough racing room. He's going to go on the
He's got a
cutback
better
in.
exit though!
Miko really likes that cutback on the Italian driver. He's going to have that DRS and he's going to look towards the outside, coming into turn 4 now. Will he be able to make the correct turn? Yes, he will. Alessio likes to tuck back into the slipstream of Filipino, and Miko will take P1.
Oh, sideways goes Miko!
Oh!
Miko not
Turn
quite
5.
able to get that position solidified yet, and
Alessio
Alessio will
trying
have
to go to the inside!
just a nose inside, and he's able to check
Oh,
out a little
just
bit of
a small
contact.
tap!
Just the tiniest bit of contact between the Italian and the Filipino driver, but they're able to keep it facing forward, and now Miko's going to be susceptible to Ballista. Ballista's going to be wanting that P2 because he doesn't want Siri to be running away with this quite yet.
They seem to have equal pace as well, with 19s, low 19s.
Out of nowhere, G set the fastest purple sector for Sector 1.
Wow,
We had
he's
the
clearly a man on a mission today, I guess.
Absolutely, so he's trying to reel back in Scoop by the looks of it. Meanwhile, Sato has made the move on Rohei further down the grid, not entirely sure how that's happened.
Oh, once again, Siri gone wide, as well as Ballista.
Yeah, so Siri seems to be struggling through that turn 1 as well as turn 5, so those 2 corners seem to be very susceptible for the Italian driver, and Miko is going to try and use this to his advantage. He won't make the move here into turn 3 unless he's wanting to get a little bit of payback for Fuji last round, but it doesn't seem as though he's
Siri's gone wide.
type.
Yeah.
Siri's gone wide and he gets it squirrely,
Makes
and Miko's going to have the DRS and the slipstream again to go through turn 4. And we know this is a happy hunting ground for the Filipino driver. Will he make a late move? He thought about it, but he elects
He
to
thought
not do
about
so.
it. He
Oh,
thought about
sideways just a bit!
Oh!
Really having to check out to make sure it doesn't collide with the rear diffuser of the Italian driver, but it's all clean now as he's heading through turn 6 here. Study Air going to be affecting the Filipino just a little bit, but he's able to maintain the distance and the delta between him and Siri.
Yep, and at the moment, it seems like these 3 are not able to break one another in terms of DRS and slipstream, so those 3 seem to have pretty equal pace at this stage of the Grand Prix.
So it'll be interesting to see how strategy plays part of it as we get towards that stage of the race. Alessio getting a little squirrely through turn 10, as does Miko there. So it doesn't seem to be any gain or loss between the 2 drivers. In the meantime, Ballista is dropping off just a little bit. He's still within the contention. Let's not be... yeah,
Scooby's joining this fight. Scooby's
Scoop
joining
is-
this fight slowly.
Oh yeah, yes too. So it doesn't seem so the damage has really harmed him more than much as
No.
G is... Oh, G's gone round unfortunately. He's gone
Yeah.
round to turn 1.
Oh no.
Yeah, so G dropped significant amounts of time and he's been overtaken by Sato, I think? No, he hasn't, but Sato's going to be looking to make a move from the Australian in coming laps back to the front of the pack, however. And Alessio is making a little bit of a gap here on the Filipino driver, at least through turn 3 here. Now down to turn 4, trying to gain on the Italian. Nothing quite coming off of it though.
Both of them are clearly having a hard time going through that corner now.
Yeah, they are.
absolutely.
They 2 are. Those 2 are really struggling with this fight.
And it seems
Unless
that-
you're seeing more.
well, you say
But
they're both
this way-
struggling with high attempts. They both said their personal best through Sector 2.
Really?
Ah.
Yes.
Seems like going sideways is faster apparently.
Well, there goes my
Oh, wow,
credibility.
Oh, it was round. Someone was round there. Oh, that was
G's
G.
gone around. Again?
Again, really?
Oh,
I
it's
think
gone
he's...
around again.
Well, I think he burnt out his tires now.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
must have overheated his tires in the first spin and then he just gone around again. And
It's
so
really
maybe
unfortunate for the Australian
Scooby
driver
now
who's
as
so
well has
promising
joined the
and had
fight.
opportunity.
Officially.
he really has. And he's done another 19 flat, so this is great. pace.
Sideways and
So,
Ballista goes wide as well.
Wow.
yeah.
So all 4 drivers really fighting their cars at the moment. And Scoop starting to gain on Ballista here, and Miko also starting to gain a little bit on Siri.
Yep.
Oh! Oh!
Oh! Ballista getting it
Oh!
all sorts of wrong there, and Scoop having to take a forward reaction there.
Jeez. Hectic stuff there.
All getting very close there, and that's going to break the gap between
Momentum.
Ballista and
Oh.
Miko, as well as the momentum. Yes, you are correct there, saying.
Must we say that Josh Mitchell making a move down the inside with G?
Josh Mitchell making the move with his fellow countrymen, and he's going to make it stick at least at the moment. He's going through the exit here.
Oh, but he's gonna have
DRS
DRS.
is open for the WA driver against Victoria, so Josh Mitchell may be able to make the move, and he'll make the move going out of turn 3 into turn 4 here.
Not quite though,
GC
G has
about-
some better braking.
Yeah, G seemed to have the better breakers than they do him around the
Experience
outside.
really showing the best of him.
Experience versus the rookie, and on this occasion, experience wins out. Great
Yeah,
job.
and Josh Mitchell not quite able to make the move stick. Unfortunate for him, but he's going to be right behind him at least for the meantime.
As Ballista and Scooby and Miko peel off into the pits.
Yes, so driver's
Oh,
starting
Ballista's not in the pits, it's just Scooby
Forget
and
about
Miko,
that.
by
This is
way.
the fight of the century here, boys. Oh,
Is it-
G's
oh!
going sideways once again.
He goes sideways,
Mitchell's
and
gone to
Josh
the
likes to
pits.
go into the pits, and I think that's wise. I think that's quite wise, actually.
That's wise heads on a young man. That's a very good call.
So Gio likes to go for one more lap, hopefully to maybe get better tyres towards the end of the race. Possibly for the Australian driver. Meanwhile, Alessio and Ballista are on their lonesome at the moment. Ballista lost a significant amount of time while we were watching that
Very,
spectacular
very
battle.
significant amount of time.
And now he's 2.3 seconds behind his Italian championship rival. And that's going to be damning for his race pace and his strategy as well in the coming laps.
Indeed.
It'll be interesting to see whether Alessio decides to box this lap, or Ballista for that matter.
We are
Will
now
these...
halfway in the race.
Yes, we are halfway, and who will pull the trigger between the 2 championship rivals? Will Alessio
Seems like
opt to box
Alessio
first?
seems like Alessio was feeding up into the pits.
Yeah, and Alessio's going to the pits here,
Oh, God.
and so is Ballista.
Everybody's out for Josh Mitchell now.
Yep, everybody's hunting for Josh Mitchell at the moment. Now Verhey's wanting his turn at the young driver. Down to turn 4.
Okay. Seems to
Yeah,
go.
and he's right on him at the moment.
Ballista and Siri, the 2 championship riders.
Yep, and Siri has already made his stop. He's already taxiing out, as has Ballista by the looks of it. And it seems though that a fair gap has formed between the 2 drivers. We'll get a proper gap open in a second. Apparently, Sato's been pinged for illegal DRS usage in Zone 1 as well.
Oh, not again.
That's gonna be interesting post race to see what's triggered that.
Yeah, not entirely sure what's happened there, unfortunately.
Bro, he's getting ever so closer to Josh now, but he made a mistake on the last corner.
Here we go. Josh Mitchell versus
Josh
Rohde.
Mitchell! Bro,
He's
he's
going defensive
starting
into
to
turn
make
one.
the move around the outside, but goes wide in the
gone
process.
Oh, that's unfortunate there. And
Right,
Josh
feeling the
is going to
pressure.
make the move.
Josh Mitchell, the next meta.
Wow. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. This is a very good showing from the Australian driver.
Exactly.
This is very good. He's doing a great job holding his own, not running into incidents. He seems to have pretty good consistency in this second race.
I don't want to give the jinx to him, but come on, Josh.
Yeah, we're actually rooting for you. Come on.
Avanti!
Meanwhile, Miko seems to be closing in on Ballista, and Ballista seems to be using pace and touch with Alessio Siri at this moment in the race. Pit stops yet to come still, obviously, for those 3. Sato stopped, hasn't he? Sato? I don't know. Sato's been very quiet this second race, I think. I don't even know what.
I will
Yes, so Sato stopped last lap, sorry.
He's quite a long way back. So
Really?
yeah, he's had a very quiet race.
The
Yep,
the
he's
graphic doesn't show.
Oh. We had a 143.7 last lap, so...
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely.
I
I
suspect
definitely did, yeah, probably.
Okay, yeah.
And once again, for the second weekend in a row, it seems like he can sit the pace over Ballista.
It's
And
getting closer and closer now.
I was just about the action is starting to die down a little bit, but not quite. Miko is right behind Ballista at the moment in this battle for P2.
Yep. And it's anybody's guess as to who will take that second place on the podium. And Scooby is ready to pounce at any second should those two get a bit too comfortable.
I'm starting to believe Josh as well is getting pace because he's gapping Rohe.
Yeah, it's the second between those two. And Josh Mitchell at this point in the race ahead of Sutton.
Exactly. You don't see that every day. Let's go.
No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. And
No,
it's gonna be very good. It's gonna be very good. Obviously, since is Lakeman here for the second race? No, he's not. Since Lakeman
no, he's
not
unfortunately
here-
disconnected.
Yeah, so the fact that Lakeman's not here for the second race, this is gonna bode very well for Satyria Racing in their Constructors' Championship.
No.
Wow.
At the moment, the action is starting to die down a little bit. Rohe seems to be itching for a move against Josh Mitchell.
Yep.
He has set his personal best lap, that previous lap there, of 140.8, and he is right behind the Australian driver going through turn 1 now, getting
Oh,
all of it in that
wide.
curb there, taking a big
oh,
old
he lost
conscious
time there.
curb.
Lost time there as well.
He's already gaining on the Australian driver. He's also going to be having a DRS coming out of turn 3 here. And we know how powerful the DRS is down this straight here. You have the DRS, you have the slipstream, and you're able to make a move well before the braking zone if you are the following car. And Bohe may be able to just display just that exact concept at the moment. He's already gaining on the Australian driver, but doesn't seem to quite have the straight line speed that the rest of his
Hold on.
drivers had.
G might-
Oh,
Oh god. G
Oh,
and
and-
Sato
yes.
doing battles now.
meanwhile, both
Yeah,
Sato and G are battling here for this P7.
What's going
G
on
trying
with
to hold
Sato?
on to it. Yeah, Sato
Sato.
not quite having the race pace.
Satan has had 0 race pace these 2 races, which is so strange considering his qualifying pace.
Yeah, quite unfortunate from the Japanese driver, and the Australian driver is going to
And
try and
obviously,
make
this
the most of it.
also means that his teammate is going to be pulling away from him in the championship in the battle for P2.
Yes, and I think with this finish, Sato might actually be officially out of the championship, depending
Championship
on
as
where
well.
he finishes
Oh
in
jeez.
this race. Oh my
He's
goodness.
all over the place. With his
G with the
car.
Herculean effort to just keep that car facing forward. Really struggling
Yeah.
with the grip and the tyres there. And something he'll probably be reflecting upon coming out of this race with Neil Bohe right on the back of Josh Mitchell, who's trying to get the slipstream, trying to execute some sort of move here against the Australian driver. Oh, going down to turn 3 here.
It's going to
Not
take
quite.
an almighty effort for Rohe for this one.
Yes,
Yep.
he's got the slipstream in the DRS yet again, but as we saw beforehand, he doesn't quite have the straight line speed that you would expect in this position on the track here. And so you won't be able to make the move going down to turn 4. Oh,
Oh
and they
my
say that he goes
goodness
for an
me!
audacious send. Goes for an audacious send against the Australian driver. Nothing of it comes of it though, unfortunately. And he's actually lost time, I think, just by a little bit there, maybe by about a tenth or so, in that process of that move. And so Josh Mitchell thanking his lucky stars at least for the meantime, but hoping that this race will end all the more quicker, as he's seeing the Iron Wheel Jamaican fill up his mirrors every single lap.
I don't know about you. He might be young, but he's driving so maturely today.
He's
Yes.
doing very well. This is
He's done
incredible.
very well for himself. He should be
And-
very proud of it, all things considered.
Yep, and if he can hold on to even a top 5 finish, I think that's great.
I believe that'll be his best finish, even if he finishes 6th at the moment. The P5 in his currency will be his best finish. So he's going to be fighting for all his life here to keep that
And-
P5.
And from my experience, if we see Rohe once again trying really hard and featured it on the sausage cup, sometimes having a clean race like this and a good race does wonders for your confidence and your momentum moving forward. Sometimes you need a race like this, and who knows, this may be a turning point for the young Australian.
Oh my
moving
god,
forward
Josh
in our
Mitchell
family.
lost it as well as
But
Rohe!
having said-
Rohe
Oh,
lost
right,
it!
he's gone around!
Oh no!
Josh Mitchell
Okay.
has finally been set free from the clutches of
But now
Rohe!
but now Josh Mitchell's gonna have replay Sutter behind him.
Oh, goodness gracious, he's got Sato right behind him.
And Scooby now about to challenge DK for the last one of the Cody podium. Seems like Ballista has had the pace in the second stint to pull away from Miko, but sadly for him, he's not had the pace to close in on Alessia Siri, but it's going to be a great fight now to see who gets that final
Meanwhile,
shot.
Oh,
Sato
Sato's
is now
blood.
sounding and harassing Josh now.
Sato smells
Oh,
blood.
this is.
Oh, this is it. This is going to be interesting.
How well does Josh react on this kind of situation now?
Yep.
How hard does he
having an-
defend?
Oh yeah, here we go.
I
He's
think
already
it's
going
quite
defensive
obvious.
now.
I think it's quite obvious he doesn't have the pace against Sato, so it's probably not worth fighting too
No,
much.
he's pulled to
So
the side there, and he's just allowed the Japanese driver to take
good
that
driving,
P5
very
without much
very
resistance.
wise driving. from
Very
him. He
wise
knows-
from Josh.
This is incredible to see. The fact that he knows which are his battles and which aren't his battles today, on this day, is great. This is, yeah.
What can I
he's-
say?
he's-
Dude is growing day by day.
Absolutely. And he seems
And
to be
sooner or
itching
later,
for a little bit of
he's going to have the
responsibility
bragging rights over Zet.
Oh yeah, that's correct. That is so correct.
But the race decided to die
Remind me, I don't think. Remind me,
Not
I don't
sorry.
think Zet's finished P5, P6 in any league race.
Oh gosh, I can't wait for Josh to hang that over Zed's head.
He's gonna put a bounty on Zet's head after this race.
Dude,
And meanwhile, this
he
battle
got
for
us all
P3 is
hyped
not
as
quite-
well.
Meanwhile, this
Yep.
battle for P3 is not quite done yet. Scoop's still itching for that P3 on Miko. Miko really wanted to keep his championship hopes alive and maybe gain a little bit on the Indonesian driver
Oh,
for that
you
battle
might
for
do it
P5.
here now.
Oh,
Oh, Miko
Scoop
goes
looks towards the
sideways.
inside. Miko getting very squirrely in the exit, and Scoop is right behind the Filipino driver. DRS, Slipstream, turn 4. You know the drill, ladies and gentlemen. Scoop's gonna try and make a move towards the outside
doing the
here.
dummy.
Is he gonna make it stick?
Doing the
He
dummy.
doesn't
Back time maybe.
quite. He's gonna
Not
look at the
quite.
switchback. No.
No,
But
he
they're
does have
still
the
close.
overlap.
They're side by side
He's gonna-
now.
He has the overlap. He can go for a move around the outside, although he'll do well. Hey, around the outside, he's going for the crisscross again, but seems like Miko for now will have a position in this middle sector on lap 17.
Scoop right behind
Miko is
the
clearly holding on.
yeah.
He's
Scoop right
clearly
behind the
Miko
Filipino driver.
has joined the
Here we
chat.
go. I think Scooby does
Yep,
make
Scooby
it
makes the
stick
move.
now.
And he does.
A great move there from the Indonesian
Great
driver.
move.
He'll nick that P3 quite nicely, but Miko is
Miko
going
will
to take
have
that line
DRS.
down.
Hold on to your seat. Josh Mitchell is challenging Sato.
Whoa! What,
What
the
the-
hell am I watching here?
Josh down the outside of the Japanese driver, the Yakitori driver, of third place in the championship. Doesn't quite make it stick, unfortunately, but he's staying right behind him, and
We
he
should be
doesn't want
watching
to
the
lose at
podium battle,
P5.
but I
Yeah,
don't
I'm
care.
sorry about this, but Josh,
We
what?
shouldn't be. I don't care. This is what happened there. But anyway, back to the podium fight. That was incredible. I see this Scooby going
Miko
back
and
down
Scooby
the
still
inside.
on it though.
Yep, they are. And Josh Mitchell, if I were him, I wouldn't be fighting Sato too much because G is still 4 seconds behind. So as long as he keeps in, as we see Miko going back for a move down the inside, and he makes it stick just about. So Miko back up into
No, he
P2, but
doesn't.
Scooby will do the crisscross.
Doing the
yeah,
crisscross
and he
now.
will have the leg. And they're going to be side by side.
textbook.
But it's... Yep, and Scooby puts himself back into third place. And Josh Mitchell has Sato.
Really? Oh my
When did that
god!
happen?
Sato's made an error. No
Sato's
way.
made a mistake
No
on the outside
way!
one there, and
Josh
will
Mitchell
do
in
one.
5th place, ladies and gentlemen.
G must have got collected in that as well because he's also fallen back from 5 seconds behind Josh Mitchell.
Josh Mitchell in no man's land at the moment.
I am rooting for this guy. Let's go.
Avanti,
He's
Josh!
The Australian driver thanking his lucky stars here, and hopefully be able to secure the P5. In the meantime, Mika's on to drop it a little bit from Scoob, as we only have 2 laps remaining of this race. Time has flown considerably here, and Miko is running out of said time. Scoob getting that gap against the Filipino driver down this straight through turn 2, heading towards turn 3 now. Doesn't seem as though that either driver is really gaining on each other. Miko actually they're gaining in the braking zone quite considerably there, but he gets all locked up
Oh,
there,
that's so
bit squirrely
wrong.
on the exit, and that's going to compromise his line, and he's dropped down now to a second, or 9-10, sorry.
Yep. Wow.
And
Sorry,
Miko's
I'm just rooting for Josh Mitchell at this rate. I don't care who gets the podium. I just hope Josh Mitchell gets the top 5. That's all I care about.
Yeah, it seems that Josh is pretty safe in that position currently in the P5.
Yeah,
as
as
the gap
long as he
towards...
keeps it safe, he doesn't make any errors, he might be coasting
If anything
to 5th
goes
place.
wrong now, Josh, you know who put the commentator's curse on you. It wasn't me.
It wasn't
I'm
me
not
as
saying
well.
anything here. I am not saying anything here.
Of course I get flack, of course. Meanwhile, we're going to the
anyways,
final lap of the
we'll call
race here, and
the
Miko
race,
is 8
yeah.
tenths behind the Indonesian driver. He's going to try and make some sort of move here, stick, going through the final quarter for the second to last time. Alessio Series already started the final lap, but this is the fastest lap of Grand Prix of 119.00. And that was
Too
the
late.
fastest lap that we saw in practice earlier from Scoob, which is
Okay,
interesting
Miko
to
is
think about.
ever getting so closer now. Only 1 lap left to make a move.
He's
Yep.
probably gonna have one good chance, and that's, well, 2 good chances. Up into turn 3 here, and probably back into turn 4. Those are the only 2 chances he's gonna have, I think.
Getting
Miko's
closer.
as
setting
long
it up.
Stay
Winding
patient
up
on the
the
throttle.
I don't. Oh, he did get a good exit. So
He's got
as
the
long as-
slipstream, he's got the DRS, he's
Let's
got
not forget
the
that
speed.
Miko does struggle with turn 4. So is he gonna
He's
be?
gonna
Oh
look
my
towards the
goodness me, I
outside.
thought it was going through the inside.
Yeah,
Come
me
back
too.
here through turn 4.
Oh, he's so closer now!
Right on the gearbox of the Indonesian driver. He's gonna look
Going-
towards the inside
Going
gear.
Going down the inside, he's going to look for it.
Scoob
And
leaving
he
just
made
enough
it
space,
stick!
and Miko will take it. And a little bit of contact coming out of that corner.
Massive
seems that
balls
Miko-
from Miko.
Miko
Incredible.
making it the move where it counts, but he hasn't quite done it yet. Scoob is right behind the Filipino driver, and he's got that slipstream. Is he going to make a move here through turn 9? Miko going ultra defensive here through this corner. Scoob going
Well,
round
that's
the
your series won
outside.
the race,
Not
but this is where the
quite.
battle is. Miko sideways, and Scooby will even up
Oh,
for the
and
final
Miko,
corner,
I
not
think, will
going.
just keep it for 3rd place.
Miko will get that 3rd
Incredible.
place in a well-earned
Very
3rd place
nice
once again.
driving.
Meanwhile, let's go on board with the Australian for Saturia Racing.
Alessio Siri. Sorry,
Good wonder.
wrong.
Wrong person.
Wrong person. The driver of the day today for sure goes to this guy right here. He's done incredible. He knew when to pick his fights today, and that's the quality of a very experienced racing driver. And for all the jokes and all the memes, he's rounding off the final 2 corners. Josh Mitchell is gonna
Ladies
get a
and
career
gentlemen,
best
give it up for
place.
Josh Mitchell.
Yes. Good
Let's
stuff.
go. Good stuff from the young lad.
Top 5.
I don't think you should play that though. You might get flagged for it.
Oh yeah.
This Australian anthem is fine.
Oh.
Look at him, he's celebrating. He's ecstatic. It might not be a race win, but he's a winner to our hearts. Josh
He is,
Mitchell,
yeah.
everybody.
Oh, he's just
That's not bad.
G giving him a massive Australian hug.
Oh. Oh. What a drive from Josh.
And once
Incredible.
again, give it up for Josh Mitchell.
An incredible drive there from the WA
Incredible.
driver.
Wow.
So yeah, that was an interesting race, don't you say, guys?
Oh.
Well then, the finishing order: Alessio in P1, Ballista in P2. Ballista will keep his championship hopes alive at least for one more round. P3 is Miko, followed by Scoob. Josh Mitchell in a well-deserved P5. In P6 is Sato is probably going to be a bit gutted from that. He's out of the championship fight now. P7 is G after a catastrophic couple of laps towards the early stages of this second race, followed by Turbolobe in P8, and the non-finishers are Vohei and Lake Pump for P9 and 10.
Wow. I need
Avante,
to light up
Josh.
after that race.
We have to give a new name for him after this.
Yeah, we do.
He deserves a title from us.
What a race we just saw. Incredible.
Incredible indeed.
And with that, let's wrap up the show.
Yeah, let's
Yep,
wrap
what a
up.
race.
so, from all of us here at Artito Racing, thank you very much for watching. Tune in next week where we'll be racing at the Italian Grand Prix at Alessio's home track with the possibility and the expectation
Wow.
that he'll be able to round off the championship
His
at
home race.
his home race.
And it's very likely as well. Wow.
Yep.
Exactly.
Written in the
So
stars.
Yep. Until then, thank you very much for watching. I've been Kindred Garlic, my co-commentators are Flying Sand and Ken Jake,
Yes,
and we'll
sir.
see you next week.
So long, guys.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.